Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
At the very same time that America refused to give the Negro any land, our government was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they give the land, they built land-grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. Not only that, they provided county agents to further their expertise in farming. Not only that, they provided low interest rates in order that they could mechanize their farms. Not only that, today, many of these people are receiving millions of dollars in federal subsidies not to farm, and they are the very people telling the black man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. And this is what we are faced with, and this is the reality. Now, when we come to Washington in this campaign, we are coming to get our check.
I remember when the ATL wasn't banging, now they banging, 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 banging. Niggas throwing sets and them bullets start ringing, bitches banging, 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 banging. I remember when the ATL wasn't banging, now they banging, 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 banging. Niggas throwing sets and them bullets start ringing like bang, 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 bitch, nigga, bang, 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 bang.
Yeah, about to have me some Dr. What the f... What the heck? What did he go? I had my mouth. What the f...
He's sleeping now. Because they want to get him good and strong. So a little before debate time, he gets a shot in the ass.
First things first, in this lame duck session.
My administration has accomplished more than almost any administration in the history of our country. America's so true. Didn't expect that reaction, but that's okay.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
You're trying your best, but it never feels like enough.
I started having second thoughts almost the moment I sat down on the plane.
Lights off! Off! Turn them off. They're too bright. Turn them off. Turn them off. Let's go. Ready? Turn.
We go back a long way. She was 12, I was 30, but anyway.
So I changed my return flight and flew back on the first available flight I could take.
I'm sick and tired of smart guys.
I'm sick and tired of ordinary people being fleeced.
I'm tired of being quiet.
I'm sick and tired. I'm just sick and tired.
We have this notion that somehow if you're poor, you cannot do it. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
With great power comes great responsibility.
Red alert. All hands stand to battle stations.
Warning. Warning. Nigga babble detected. System overload. Warning. Warning. Nigga babble detected. System overload.
Bless. Life. Cleanse. Ring cat in the building with the tape fist tight. Ricardo on the mic, yeah, he's spitting that fight. Mike is right with the vision so clear. Political prophet dropping truth in your ear. Progressive moves, but we keeping it raw. Individual minds breaking every damn law. Social conservatism got the crowd in a trance. Take fist politics, we advance in the stands. Put your take fist in the air, let it rise. Feel the power of the truth in your eyes. From the left to the right, we unite. Take fist politics, gonna shine so bright. MD20 in the cut with the plan. Building up the movement with a taped up hand. Progressive dreams in a conservative frame. Individual voices calling out every name. Progressive moves, but we keeping it raw. Individual minds breaking every damn law. Social conservatism got the crowd in a trance. Take fist politics, we advance in the stance. Once you take fist in the air, let it rise. Feel the power of the truth in your eyes. From the left to the right, we unite. Take fist politics, gonna shine so bright.
New golden age. New golden age. A new golden age. A new golden age.
In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
You talking choppers, you getting right. You on the block with the dope every night. Said he wanted some squares, so we took him on life. Say you wanna get paid, you wanna be right. Team 4K got slapped with the pipe. Still got on these shades, even though it ain't night. Cause they little pink pills too hard. Let's go on a SRT with a Draco tight. Got a little boy way, can't sleep at night.
You gotta go get your motherfucking dough. You gotta run, say fuck out that hoe. I was just broken, I didn't have a friend, so I went in the trap and I sold me some dope.
Let's
for
go.
real.
Poppin' purse, make her suck dick for an hour, get to work. I told the bitch to get nasty for double. She bought her best friend, they for each other. Okay, for me, make her fuck my brother. Got a team full of players, free band, no struggle.
Big 4K down to the door.
Might get in there, mo, go dig with shovel. Break out the chopstick, hit on wherever. Broad daylight, bitch, I'ma get on wherever. Let's go, double O walk on this bitch, but I like to talk on this bitch.
Hold on.
Purpose said walk on this bitch, the purpose said talk on this bitch.
Hold on.
I just be geeking out drugs, taking all kinds of shit. Bitch on the full shit, fine, he see all kinds of bitch.
Running through the design, don't care about shit. The world one time, the original man got shot, he slide, little boy, you a bitch. 15 ball, one play, don't miss.
The following announcement has been paid for by Take Fist Politics.
Peace. What's going on? What's happening? Hey, we back again. TFP, man. TFP. Happy. I guess you would say Juneteenth Eve on this Thursday. Take Fist Politics. We back, man. We back with episode 12. Yeah, we in it, man. Vancat, Ricardo, what's up?
Okay, Vancat, you going? You good? There's silence.
Yeah, he probably knee deep in his hot pocket. Don't worry about it, man. He got his hot pocket warming up. Yeah, he'll come in and what's up, Ricardo? What's going on?
I'm good. He better be in some kind of hot pockets, warming up somewhere. But nah, man, I'm happy.
Pepperoni pizza.
Happy Juneteenth Eve and happy Father's Day Eve, I guess, because that's coming up this weekend. Happy pagan summer solstice. Everything wrapped up in one. It's funny how the fathers get like the whole weekend, but then always get cheaping out for the $11 wallet. But it's all good, you know. We'll get the short end of the stick. It's either a wallet.
Looking forward to your tie or nothing, man. You
the tie, the wallet, the cufflinks, the socks. It's never an Xbox or a PlayStation or a trip to Seville, Spain or something. But nah, it's all good. No, we're good, man.
Hell, I'll be lucky, man, if I get a home cooked meal. Shit.
Or something. Or the mortgage paid off for the year or the whole is something. Hey, Lord, would it kill y'all?
It's pretty bad.
But no, it's good. It's been a good long hiatus. So much has happened while we're not here or live. But yeah, it's all good to be back, man.
Yeah, no doubt. Vancat, you done with the hot pocket, man? What's going on? You're on mute, man. Damn hot pockets, man. I don't know what's going on with them. Let me see
AMD.
if I can take
I'm
it
here.
off. Oh,
I'm
There
here.
all
you
right.
are.
You done with your hot pocket?
Or in the hot
Nah,
pocket.
my cable. I had to go get my cable. My power was running low.
Okay, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt. All right, so we in the building, man.
Oh,
Like I
they got
said,
Jeremy Dunbar in the house. What's going on,
shout out
Jeremy?
to Jeremy Dunbar. I guess unofficial, official TFP crew member. What's going on, man? What's going on? But
That's right. That's right.
yeah. Again, like I said, episode 12, we back. We're gonna be talking a little bit about some of the primaries that's taking shape. Whether they've already had the results or going into the primary. We're gonna discuss that tonight. Again, like I discussed yesterday, everything is gonna be article based. For a lack of trying to test stuff out, I'm gonna be sharing my screen and not just clipping them and putting them into the studio. So it's all gonna be screen sharing, and of course, we will have the lame duck tonight. But before we start off with the show, I want to play a real quick video, 15-second video. Did anybody see this earlier today? Check this out. Shout out to Black Sun. Check this out.
Uh-oh.
我操！这我录了个完整的，我操！操，这给我干的！
Incredible footage.
What the heck was
out
that?
of Moscow. It was the lid getting blown off of an oil refinery, like literally the lid blew off.
Damn.
Ukraine did a massive strike on Moscow today, the biggest in the war yet. they lit Moscow ass up earlier today. Lit them up. Hitting critical infrastructure.
Damn.
Now, we're talking about Moscow. We're talking about, quote unquote, now, one of the most heavily guarded cities on the face of the planet.
Well, not only that, but the capital of the Russian Federation as a whole. So, yeah, that's
I mean,
huge.
you tell me, man. You tell me.
Yeah, that's literally like if they were to strike Washington D.C. That's pretty much like a huge blow. I'm surprised by that big old explosion.
And again, they not hitting civilian residential areas. They're not doing none of that shit. They hitting critical infrastructure. Critical.
As they should.
They were reporting earlier today after that strike. Shit just haywire in the city of Moscow right now. Miles and miles with lines of people trying to get gas, can't get it. They busting Russia ass. Now I was told, Ricardo, this is what I was told now. I was told this is not an economic war, it's pure military. Well, how does military usually work? They usually strike targets that will affect the economic structure of a certain country in order to them to kneel. That's usually how war works. I'm not a military expert, Ricardo. I'm not. You know, some people claim that they are. I'm not, though. I don't claim that. What I can gather from this whole situation is economic pressure getting put on Russia to try to come to the table. That's what I got from it. That's what I got.
Or wasn't there a G7 meeting with everybody just a couple of days ago?
Zelensky was at the G7.
So I'm assuming he got his money, or the paycheck came in, and he's showing up his cards now. He's showing his hands like, hey, I got all my party members here, my posse is here now, so I got them all with me. So what you gonna do now? That's like a bluff to Putin, because we haven't heard Putin in a while. I know he's still in the mix because of the whole Iran situation. It's like, the enemy of my enemy is my best friend. But I just find the timing very surprising. Again, the G7 summit, and then here we are with the deal made for Iran, and now Zelensky just shows up, boom, and here it is, back into the news news cycle all over again.
Well, I believe it was definitely planned. I don't
definitely.
I don't think it was nothing like spontaneous. It was definitely planned. around
This is very
Zelensky
much
being
right.
in the G7. So,
Oh yeah.
you know, there's that. But again, it's not a war of attrition as we know it conventionally. Like when people say that, that let me know they don't really understand warfare in 2026. Go ahead, Van Cat.
I was gonna ask, has Some Black responded to this in any way? Has he made a comment, an official statement?
I mean, I ain't really been. I seen he been making like a couple of videos, but when the walls collapse around you in your ideology and your way of thinking, a lot of people. What do they call that shit? The 5 stages of greed. Whatever it's
Yes.
called.
Yeah.
I think one of those stages are like dismissiveness, right? Where you just say,
Yeah.
this, let me just ignore what the fuck is like happening and talk about other shit like video games and stuff like that. You know
But
what
it's
I'm
also,
saying?
but it's called deflection as well. There's realization and there's deflection. And we've seen, the role of the circles now coming full circle from most of the megamaniacs. Like nothing makes sense here. But then when you're in your delusion of grandeur and people call you out for it, it's hard not to deflect. And it's tough for the megamaniacs right now to see everything that we've said is we've told you so. Full
Ricardo,
circle.
put yourself in the shoes of a megamaniac in the here and now, right now. Put yourself in the shoe. Can you imagine? Can you only imagine, Ricardo? Like what they must be feeling in terms of the overall aspect of life. Like right now, in the here and now. All the shit that they said prior to November 2024 versus today. Just imagine. That's all I want you to do. That shit'll it'll send shivers down your spine. Just the thought of it.
Jeremy's trolling the pepper.
Who are the 5 best rappers alive? What the hell?
Dylan.
Dylan.
I spit hot fire.
Dylan.
Oh, it's Dylan.
It'll send shivers down your spine.
Dylan. But and I feel bad. Should I feel bad for the megamaniacs though? Like, should we feel bad for them, or should we be like,
no?
We literally told you this was the playbook the whole time. Like, you can't have an Acme grifter, and the grifter literally all he does is grift. Like from like, do you know how much billions of dollars this man has accumulated since he's been from the first time in office to now? And y'all elected him back again, not us, but the megamaniacs. And he's making even more money. So you're suffering while he's grifting more and getting more money on top of the fact that he has the shoes. Did the phone come out? I don't even hear anything about the phone. The super briefcase, the tie, the Bible. I mean, the pens, the airline that he was supposed to create, the university. I mean, how much more stuff does a marketing can do before y'all realize this was all a scheme to make him money, and y'all look like the freaking cult, like the Jim Jones cult in freaking Guyana when they drank the damn cyanide and all died for the sake of like. What the whatever what's the word I'm looking for here? The assumption or the accumulation of like the knowledge base of you thinking you're gonna go somewhere, but it's all a ruse. No, megamaniacs, wake up! Like, we don't have that much time to get this melody. And even then, what the damage has been so clear cut at this point. MD, what are we going to be able to do at this point to fix all of this? It's going to be years. I don't see this being an overnight thing to be fixed. It's either we're going to shake them out of it, or gas is going to like affect everybody's pockets, or Joe Schmo or the plumber that fix whatever realize, hey, I've been supporting this moron or Taco for all this time, and yet I am not getting anything or benefits out of this. So do I just continue deflecting, or do I just be like, hey, fuck it, I'm just not gonna, excuse my French.
You gotta support this man with the punches, man.
But how do you roll through the punches when you're suffering? I don't get it. Like, is this just we're just gonna still go through and maybe there's a slither of hope that there's something no, nothing's gonna happen, y'all. It's just downhill spiral from here.
You must learn. You must learn. See, again, that's why I always say it's Juneteenth, Ricardo. You must learn the ways of the American Negro. We've been
Never.
rolling with the punches for over 400 years.
Well,
That's just
well,
what the fuck it is.
so what we're gonna bring to the cookout then at this point? We're bringing lemonade because we can't keep talking about Trump and his delusion of nonsense that's going at this point. So I'm gonna bring the lemonade, because we need to bring the sourness and the wake up call of the fuck it. I'm just gonna bring Kool-Aid at this point because now everybody's drinking Kool-Aid and pineapple. Wake the fuck up, mega maniacs! Wake up! It's not. This is now at the critical point stage now where this man told you there was never going to be wars, and here we are. And by the way, shout out to President Obama, Nobel Peace Prize president that won the Nobel Peace Prize. That one Covenant Prize that this Taco Bell dude can win. Yeah, shout out to you getting your presidential library today and all the people that showed up for you, but. The UFC fight didn't bring that much crowd. I don't know, all of this thing. Yeah, but the 250-year anniversary is coming up around the corner, MD, in July the 1st. So we'll see how that works for the president that, is the greatest president of all time. Give me a freaking break.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. My bad. I'm distracted, man. I'm watching the damn Dream Fever game, man.
Oh yeah, and shout out to World Cup. I didn't even know you like World Cup, soccer like that. Well, football, MD, because you Americans call it soccer.
I'm watching WNBA. I watch soccer too, though. I back in the day, I was a big like football guy. I used to watch Bundesliga. My favorite team is Bayern Munchen, like of all time. This was back in like the early 2000s. But yeah, I like soccer. I like all sport, man, to be honest with you. But hey, shout out to the World Cup. So surprisingly, the World Cup has been a success so far. I was thinking that it was gonna be a lot of bullshit shenanigans going on.
And ice, baby.
I mean, not only that, just and it has been some shenanigans. I ain't gonna say that ain't. I saw a report the other day where it was a referee, a FIFA referee couldn't get in
from Somalia.
Couldn't get in the country. Yeah, from Somalia. Yeah. So it's been some shenanigans, but I thought it was gonna be like way worse. I thought it was gonna be way worse than what it is. The fanfare has been excellent. You know what I'm saying? Now I wouldn't dare go downtown Atlanta right now. That shit is crazy. But the fanfare from what I've seen,
it's been great.
It's been excellent. Like around the country.
Been great. It's been great. We can't knock it though, but that's what sporting events, world sporting events are supposed to do, like the Olympic Games, soccer, World Cup, all that stuff is supposed to bring out great enlightenment. So shout out to the World Cup and all them peoples, and MD, you need to buy your damn ticket so you could go support the countries that are not American based. It's about time
now. Yeah, so before we get started, let's answer Jeremy Dunbar's question. He said, do you think all presidents become filthy rich once they get in office? I know for a fact that's no.
No.
Because, I mean, the obvious one would be Jimmy Carter. He didn't get rich at all. Like, at all. So, I mean, hell,
that was on purpose, though.
He gave up wealth. Well, exactly. You can look at it that way, but he followed the rule of law. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I mean, it's about the perspective that you come at it with. The rule of law clearly states that you can't do A, B, and C from a personal financial standpoint when you become in any federal elected office, but they do it any fucking way. So, so are we talking about norms, which is bad, or are we talking about the rule of law, which is good, according to what the rule of law says, the letter of the law? The letter of the law clearly states something. Now, whether they do it or not is a totally different thing. Jimmy Carter followed the rule. And he did not become filthy rich. In fact, he lost wealth. So, there's that. Yeah, that's why I always talk about the rule of law and law and order. Like, people think I bullshit when I say these things. I mean, it's written in black and white, folks. Now, whether you do it or not, that's a totally different argument. Totally different argument. But let's get into the show, man. Like I said, tonight we're gonna talk about some of these primaries and how it's shaping out and what we believe the landscape is going to look like going forward into November come the general midterms. Let's get into our first story here. And of course, we're going to be going deep down in the heart of Texas is where we're going. And of course, we're talking about Ken Paxton and Tallarico. Now, since we've been gone, the Republican runoff for the Republican nomination, it's been squared away. Ken Paxton, Trump-backed, did win the Republican nomination in the state of Texas for the Senate seat. So the matchup is going to be Tallarico versus Ken Paxton for one of the Texas federal Senate seats. What do y'all think about Ken Paxton winning? How do you look at that matchup going forward?
That's a great win for the Democrats, man. That's a great damn scenario and win for the Democrat. Yes, it is. Ken Paxton.
Explain.
Well, first of all, we just came out of this guy. Damn, he's supposed to be in prison right now. To be honest, I mean, he has so much dirt and questionable decision making that he's had in the last couple years. Now he's going to turn around and try to get another position in this election, in an election period time when we got people frustrated and up in arms by the direction and where the Republicans are going, all the issues that we have here. Ken Paxton is going to be just like a Trump. He ain't going to be worried about or concerned about your everyday life situations and problems and despair. He's going to be worried about enriching himself and doing everything that they've been doing, which is not addressing the problems that people see day to day. So this is like a dream come true. You got a white guy that's running, that's religious, that's relatable to conservatives and Republicans, that's also a Democrat. He's been going and having these rallies where it's just nothing but Republicans at his rallies. And he's been able to get his message through and talk to Republicans at street level. And even if they don't fully agree with him, they at least hear him out and they see where he's coming from. Whereas what is Ken Paxton going to run on? How much more money he wants to steal, or maybe he wants to cheat on his wife or whatnot again with somebody else. I mean, what is he going to be running on? What is he going to be able to do that will be substantive for people in Texas?
I don't disagree with anything you just said, Venkat. But you fail to factor in an important caveat, and that caveat is MAGA maniacs don't give a damn about nothing that you just said. So that's an important caveat in the entirety of what we're talking about. So I don't put nothing behind the MAGA maniac, especially in the great state of Texas. I love Texas. I love it.
So you don't feel that even some MAGAs have turned from 2024 to now in 2026. You don't think some of those MAGAs have turned? Some of those MAGAs with supporting Trump, they've now had an economic pressure that they're feeling. Trump denied a lot of things that could have helped them. You know, the SNAP benefits. Trump put tariffs on in the economy. And that has, I know that it's affect my life.
Hell, gave them smallpox, and now they got the screw worm. Hell, they got a lot of stuff going on in Texas.
There's a lot of things that have been negatively impacted, whether you're a supporter or not. There's undeniable negatives and steps backwards that you had to have felt. The only people probably insulated are going to be ultra rich people. But the MAGAs we talking about is the working class MAGAs, the maggots that are working class.
That's the majority of MAGA. working class.
Yes.
You know.
So you can't tell me that he's like retaining 100%, 85%, 75%. Some of those maggots have turned, and that's why I feel like with the advantage of registered voters in Texas, with the blundering and fumbling of the Trump administration, and people are just more pissed. Remember that guy on TV? He's talking about how he misses Uncle Joe. He was a MAGA too. He's talking about he missed Uncle Joe. I wasn't struggling. I was balling when Joe Biden was in office. You don't think that's a singular thought?
So again, we talking about logic and
I get
quantitative
that.
theory here.
Yep.
So if he was willing to admit that his financial situation was better under Biden, yet he voted for Trump, what does that tell you about the overall logic about a MAGA maniac?
But MD, that's not fair because he's talking about it. No, because he voted for Trump thinking that it wasn't going to get bad like this. He believed the Kool-Aid that he was drinking, not recognizing that Obama in the first term is what was decent about the first Trump administration. Right?
So you don't understand the flaw. You don't understand the flaw in the reasoning then.
No, because I'm giving him a little grace because once he saw how bad it got in 2025 and 2026, that's when he was like, I miss my Uncle Joe. You know what I mean? So once he saw, okay, this is not going right, he at least tapped out and he didn't continue. He didn't continue going.
Again, what I'm trying to get you to understand, Venkat, this is what I'm trying to get you to understand. Again, we talking about quantitative logic and reason. This is what we talking about.
Yep.
Let's start from square one. Square one is my financial situation is not good. Can we say overall that's a general statement of a MAGA maniac?
Yes.
Prior 2024.
Yep.
Okay. So we set that foundation, Venkat.
Yep.
Come 2024, they vote for Trump. Trump gets into office January 25. Immediately, it's a downhill effect from immediately. Now I'm saying I miss Joe Biden. Then we have to go back to the foundation. What built the house, Venkat? That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. What built the house is my financial situation is not good under Biden.
Right.
We vote for Trump. Trump gets in. Then we come to the conclusion and say, hey, I'm really fucked up now. I'm in a bad way. I miss the old way. But the old way, according to the MAGA maniac, was a bad situation.
But I think that was a lie the whole time. I think it was
this is what I'm sitting here telling you. You just hit the nail on the head, Venkat.
Yeah.
The reasoning behind the populace of a MAGA maniac is all a lie. It don't matter if the situation is good, bad, or indifferent with a MAGA. It don't matter. What matters is what must I do? I don't give a fuck how bad my situation is. What must I do in order to not give a W to a Democrat?
Right,
that's not a political adapted mind. That's a mind of a cult, is what I'm saying. People in Texas, the large majority of people in Texas, from a political standpoint, are in a cult. That's a fact. It's been like that for several decades. I don't see this situation, though, don't matter how bad it is, affecting the cult. When you're in the cult, even if I'm in a bad situation, probably the worst it's ever been, I cannot allow a Democrat to put me in a mindset to believe, even if it's true or not, that it'll be even worse. My opinion, Tallarico ain't winning.
Okay. Okay.
That's
Now,
just
what
my
if
opinion.
if he does
Yeah, go
win?
ahead.
Then if he does win, then what does that say?
It says that from a statewide standpoint, it's marginal change, because if it doesn't follow through with state and local races, it's really to no effect. And that's what I said in the group chat when y'all was talking about it. Now, I don't come from it from the perspective of Mike.
Mike would be all over me right now. Mike would be all over me.
I don't even look at it that way. That's low level thinking to me, because I think it's more layered than that. You know what I'm saying? Look at a state, and we're gonna talk about Georgia here in a second.
Yeah.
Look at a state like Georgia, where I'm from. We got 2 Democrat senators, 2 of them. You can only have 2. Both of them are Democrats, right?
Yeah.
Every metropolitan city in the state of Georgia is a Democrat city. True and true. Blue as you can get. Yet, in our state house, in our state senate, is redder than a beet. That's just a fact. Why is that?
Gerrymandering?
There's no gerrymandering in Georgia.
Come on, MD. There's gerrymandering everywhere. Come on, MD.
As a matter of fact, I can make an argument
based
on a lot of the urban sprawl that's been going on in the metro areas. Democrats done gained ground. There's no gerrymandering in Georgia. Nowhere. That's a fact.
MD,
in the county I live in. Now, I live in extreme north part of the county, heavily Republican, right? But the county overall is Democrat. Lucy McBath is the congressman for a large majority of the county that I live in. Now, I don't live in.
But
go ahead.
But if it wasn't for gerrymandering, Marjorie Taylor Greene's district, when she had that district, wouldn't even have existed.
You keep making that argument, but again, you're not accounting for the urban sprawl, Venkat. That's what I'm saying. The reason her district, I believe it's 13.
Yeah.
The reason that district became what it was because everybody moved to the city, and it gained a lot. The less of a mass of an area with the less people, the bigger it's gonna get. You understand that, right? Like it go off of population.
Not always.
I'm saying it in the relative sense. That's how it works.
Yeah.
So because all the metro areas, all the metro cities in Georgia have become very, very compacted, like very compact. Now, in a lot of the, like if you say Metro Atlanta, for instance, because it's so ever expanding, it condenses that part of the district and expands the wider rural areas where it just simply ain't enough people. That's why that was created the way it was. Now, I agree with you for the part of saying that maybe from a geographic standpoint, it kind of don't make sense. But rules are rules. You know what I'm saying? I don't look at that as gerrymandering. Gerrymandering is what Texas did. That's a fact. Gerrymandering is having one city split in half so you can try to get all these. That's gerrymandering. Georgia is no way in shape or form gerrymandering. Like I said, if you look at the map, actually Democrats have gained ground in terms of overall district representation based on everybody moving to Georgia. You know what I mean?
So with all that information there, do you think in the next general election, 2028, that Georgia is going blue?
It's hard for me to say right now because if we're looking at it geographically, again, all the points that I just gave you, we still got to account for the rural areas and them having an overall majority. Because at the end of the day, they do. Now, I
don't think the rural areas are going to outman the urban areas.
Okay. So you always make the point, Venkat, saying that Texas, by land mass, has the biggest number of Democrats.
Yep.
You always make that point. I can counter that point by giving you another fact by saying California has the largest number of Republicans.
Yeah,
It's a big ass state.
Well,
but it's true. I can pull it up right now. I can literally pull it up for it. Matter of fact, let me do that. It's true. So when you look at and that's why when you look at representation, and Ricardo, jump in there when you can. When you look at representation, that's why stuff like districting, ballot representation, that's why all that shit is important. Because for you to say that it's the most Democrats in the state of Texas, I can counter that and say it's the most Republicans in California, which is true. That's simply based on geographics.
Fact. Yeah, that's a fact.
California is the biggest state. It's a fact.
Yep. There's a lot of Republicans in California. I can tell you that from experience.
So again, this is why I say the rule of law and the way the Bill of Rights dictates how elections work. That shit is important. That mob rule Democrat shit that you be talking about, Venkat, that if it was up to Venkat, we'll still be in chain right now.
I don't like the minority telling the majority what to do.
There you go. In 1800, the majority would have said, "Man, we ain't going to war for these niggas. Keep them in chain." The majority would have said that, and we would have been damn if you do, damn if you don't. All because Venkat.
I don't think these little ass states should have the same voting power or influence on anything like a bigger state. I don't think that's right.
And I'm so glad the founding fathers thought of people like you to make things right. I'm so glad. Because messing around with you, like I said, imagine me and Venkat, Rick and Morty or somebody. Fucking around with Venkat, he be done changed the annals of history. And niggas will be in a bad spot here in America, folks. Fuck. And it's so ironic being on Juneteenth Eve having this discussion. We'll be in a bad spot messing with Venkat, man. We'll be in a bad boy. We'll be in a bad spot. So I'm so glad. Thank you, Mr. Dr. Benjamin Franklin and Adams and Jefferson. Thank you so much. Even though y'all had our ass in chains too. Thank you for at least having the forethought of saying, hey, look, we got to write this thing to where it's called right down the middle. Even though it ain't maybe right now, maybe in the future it will be. And lo and behold, here we are. Happy Juneteenth Eve, everybody. Happy Juneteenth Eve. And that's what you got, Ricardo. What you think about Ken Paxton, man, and you know what his chances are? Again, Tallarico has been running a great campaign. I ain't gonna say that he ain't.
He has.
I ain't gonna say that he ain't. Like I said, some black people are pissed off at him.
We
got to keep that in mind as well.
Yes,
we still got to keep that in mind.
And keep in mind that the largest voting bloc is who? Black women, and who has been disenfranchised since Trump has been elected? Black women, because they're according to the statistics, black women are the most educated bloc out of our demographic. But that's a whole nother conversation. In case y'all white folks out there didn't know, but this race, Texas as a whole has been very, I say polarizing, but not in a good way from the past year. Like there's so much happening in Texas. I guess they said the bigger it is, the better it is in Texas. But the gerrymandering with the Carmelo case, with like the new aren't they supposed to be getting rid of Ted Cruz at some point? Like I don't even know what's going on. There's so much going on with Texas. But my question now going into the race for November is, how much of an influence is the country paying attention that much to Texas to really move, or with the ebb and the flow of political correctness here? Because if Texas is going to dictate how the rest of the country is going to go, because remember, they started this whole redistricting crap. So because they started it, then California was like, okay, well, if you do that, do keep in mind we're one of the largest states right after you. we could do whatever we want to do too. And then that sent off a whole chain reaction. So I'm wondering now, what is the political landscape going to look like once we head more further into the midterms? Because I'm keeping an eye out on Texas might, maybe just an inclination there, maybe turn purple. But my problem, like MD has mentioned, is these people know better. They actually went through and they see things that have happened in Texas, but they will never flip the state blue. And that's my problem. Is this like them drinking the Kool-Aid? I don't know. Is it a problem where they're just deeply Republican-esque people that are like, no matter how much I suffer, no matter how many, Girl Scouts drowned in that flood, we're still gonna vote red because this is just ingrained in our blood. Like, are you kidding me right now? Like, you know better, but you still won't vote any other way but red. And I have I don't know if it makes me feel either I shouldn't care that much about Texas, or maybe, with the whole thing going on with them, I just don't know. Because with the what rubbed me the wrong way was that whole Carmelo case, and again, that's a whole other topic to be had. I don't know how you have not chosen any other demographic. Can you say demographic? You haven't chosen any other ethnic group other than white people to be your jurors, but then that's a whole other conversation to be had.
That's a fact though. That's a fact though, Ricardo. You just hit the nail on the head.
Yeah,
even with this run with Tallarico, they still find themselves marginalizing the black vote. Still,
right.
That's why we're in this whole debacle right now.
They said
Jasmine Crockett and everything.
But they're saying that they're not though, MD. They're doing the all lives matter crap thing where they're like, oh no, what are you guys talking about? We've been including, the black folks from, since, the Juneteenth, because the colors represent Texas. I mean, come on, like even, and again, I don't know if you watched The View, MD, because that's a whole nother conversation to be had too with JD. That JD's been missing for quite a good chunk of time. Like, you see him pop up in Europe and all these places, but he shows up on The View to sell a book. And when they ask him about,
hey, hold it, man. We're gonna talk about that next week. I got a whole show.
So I'm not gonna touch it, but JD really have surprised me a lot, and I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I think you need to be very careful how you step going forward. Maniacs that voted for this man, thinking that he doing this whole the VP race and all that, well-spoken orators and whatnot. He ain't for us, and I'm at this point with this whole thing. And going back to Tallarico, I don't know if he can do it either, MD. I really am hoping that he can, but I just don't see it. Texas is very hard to pull. I don't know what it is about Texas, but we thought this the last time with the other guy that we what was his name again? That the Democrats put all their bets on, and they were like, yeah, he's gonna do it.
About Beto?
Is it? Yeah, and they put him in the Times magazine, and he's the next best thing, and it just went.
You talking about Beto?
Yeah, and it just went. It just went like in oblivion. Like, no one really cared. I think Texas is a hard state to crack. Maybe it will take something like a huge natural disaster or a volcano erupting or something for them to flip the vote. They're not going to do it. I just don't see a deeply rooted red state like Texas flipping blue, but maybe they might turn purple just a smidge, because we saw it the last time with the first election with Trump before we got rid of him to get in Biden. We did see the state kind of try to change purple, but I just don't see it. I don't see.
I can tell you right now why it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I just don't see it.
So again, I just talked about Georgia, right? And urban sprawl is what if you look at Texas,
like the Houstons and the Dallas,
of course, you got Dallas, Fort Worth, you got Houston,
San Antonio,
San Antonio, and hell, I put San Antonio like brinking on a lot of places in Texas. The difference between a place like Georgia and a place like Texas is the urban sprawl, meaning that the expansion is not there. Yeah, the city of Houston might be Democrat. All surrounding Houston, that shit is red as beet.
It's suburban, yeah.
It's red as beet.
Oh,
whereas in Atlanta, everybody can't afford to live in Atlanta, so what they do? They go to the outer county. and all that shit become Democrat. That's what I
Facts.
was trying to tell. You can't tool like gerrymandering, where a place where all the city people, because of economic turmoil, I mean, it is what it is, move outwardly and just commute. You know what I'm saying? Atlanta encompasses damn near the entire North Georgia at this point. Damn near. You know what I'm saying? So when you have urban sprawl to that degree, it's hard to beat. That's why we got 2 Democratic senators. That's why they moving on the push to take the state seats at the Capitol. And a place like Texas, that just ain't possible because of the fact that, yeah, you can say it's the most Democrats in the country. That's just because of geographics. It's a big ass state. You know, that's why I use the argument of California. But when you got the suburban areas still constituted in deep conservative values, it ain't cutting the mustard. It just ain't. You know, that's why even with the Crockett Tallarico campaign, she won the cities, but all the surrounding counties went for Tallarico. Campaign wise, he ran a great campaign. I ain't gonna say that he didn't, but he did it at the expense of an entire block of voters. That's all I'm saying.
And
So,
and
you know,
but
yeah,
also
go ahead.
to add to also let's not neglect the fact, MD, that Texas has been doing a lot of cheating. To be fair, I wouldn't say like cheating, but more like doing a lot of things that are indiscretionary, where they know better, but they will still find fault or ways to, like, I guess, I don't know, it's to accelerate the project 2025 or 2020, whatever they want to call that nonsense. Um, push. So again, it's a hard state to crack. It's kind of like I'm also watching North Carolina and Florida, but we all know Florida is not going to move the needle that much. On account of the Hispanic vote is now where it's a center block. So it's tough because I think that's what the Democrats were going for, where they're like, yeah, Crockett was, but then they weren't supporting Crockett. So it was kind of weird to me because they supported Tallarico more than Crockett in it, like the bigger kahunas that are at top. And we've seen this in the conventions as well, where we've even heard CNN, what's his name again, called it out, where he's like, why are these all big wigs people that with the money are all in like the big booths, but then the people at the grassroots are at the bottom? They're not, the grassroots people are not dictating where the Democratic Party is going. It's the people with the money. So if they were making the push, they wouldn't really want to get Crockett in there, because Crockett doesn't really, she's polarizing, but she doesn't have the whole effect of like getting the Latino voters or the whatever voters that are out there other than the black women voting. And again, the center block of the Democratic Party would be always who, MD? The black women voters. Who did the Democratic Party upset when they didn't vote in Crockett? The black women voters. Who is the most disenfranchised voting bloc that was like, got the most unemployment rate now and all that? The black women. So I don't know where this all fits in with Texas. I do hope though that Tallarico and the what's his name that's running against him or whatever, at this point, if they're gonna do the push, do it and go all the way in, because if you're gonna flip it and try to make it purple, it's not worth the push. I don't know going into midterms if again, other than the cities that we've described, Houston, Dallas, Fort Worth, because I think Dallas and Fort Worth are like 2 cities amalgamated into one. So I don't know, but the San Antonios, where in terms of that, we know these are Democratic cities as a whole, but in terms of the state, how do you draw in that urban sprawl? Because wasn't that what the whole suburban idea was made from to begin with in the first place? Was to, we go back all the way to white supremacy, but there's so much in all of this, before I start babbling, to state that, hey, this was all orchestrated just for voting, and I just don't see it with Texas. It's tough. MD is really tough. I know, Vanka, in your heart of hearts, you wanted to become Democratic. I just don't see it. We had this discussion in the chat. I just don't see Texas turning blue. Not even for a governor. I can't even say the word. Gubernatorial race. Is that how you say it, to get in a governor?
Yeah.
They won't
Yeah.
vote they just won't do it. They will just be ingrained in red just because it's people who are family members who went to school and they just won't do it. I'm sorry, they're just not gonna flip blue.
And like I said, it's not that they can't do it. It's that they don't have the infrastructure to do it. And that's all I'm saying. In terms of what the landscape looks like in that state, the demographics just ain't powerful enough. That's just what it is for whatever reason. You know what I mean? Now, in order to turn again, we got to understand what it means for it to turn purple. Even if Tallarico win, the state is not purple. That's one seat. Now, albeit it's a federal seat. I ain't gonna shy away from that, but it ain't gonna be purple. For a state to be purple, it's got to be more, let's say 60-40, close to 50-50. You know what I mean? In all aspects of government, local, state, federal. And it just ain't. You know what I mean?
It
It
ain't
just
happening.
ain't.
Mm-mm.
So, Willie, you got anything else on that, Van Cat?
You went to go
Damn,
grab the
Van
hot
Cat
packet,
eating
Venkat?
damn hot pocket again.
Stop eating the damn hot packet,
Damn,
Venkat.
man. Why
I'm
I can't
here.
get
I'm
none?
here.
You
I'm here.
Golly.
Oh, man.
All
No,
right,
I'm good.
so
I'm good.
okay, all right. So speaking of Georgia, now this one was a shocker here. This one was a shocker, I must admit. Now, I told everybody I voted in the Republican primary for governor.
Mm-hmm. How did that work out?
It didn't work out too good for me. So I voted for Brad Raffensperger on the Republican on the Republican ticket.
What you mean they tell me the man with the name with the food in it didn't get the win? How is that possible?
He lost. Actually he lost terribly. He lost terribly. Again, like I've always said, my goal in my process of voting to say I don't want the MAGA
Boy, Donald
guy.
Trump is pathetic.
What you
I'm
mean?
sorry. I'm just reading. Trump hails billionaire Rick Jackson GOP primary win despite endorsing the rival. So he just like,
And we about to get into that. Yeah.
Oh
we
boy.
about to get into it. So I voted for Brad Raffensperger. He lost terribly. It went to a runoff between Rick Jackson and Burt Jones. Burt Jones was glazing for Trump. That's eventually what it came down to. He was glazing. Just to give history, and I talked about this yesterday in my live. During the 2020 elections, the aftermath of the 2020 election and January 6th, Burt Jones was the lieutenant governor. He actually went against the governor, Brian Kemp, and the Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger, in terms of justifying the shit that they was doing in Fulton County, trying to undermine the election.
Yep.
How the state House and state Senate didn't impeach him for that is beyond me. His ass should have been out of there right then and there. You gonna go against your superiors and say, no, y'all run. At the time, I was a fan of Brian Kemp because I believe that Brian Kemp was standing on principle, saying, hey, look, it ain't no election fraud. Like the shit happened, it got counted, you lost. And I commended Brian Kemp for that. Since then, he turned into a bitch and he started glazing Donald Trump. Brad Raffensperger was the only one that stood on principle the entire time and said, man, the hell with what you're talking about. We got a Trump-type, no pun intended, Trump-type system here in Georgia. It was audited 5-6 times. And according to the results, you lost. That's just what it is. Yep. So I commended Brad Raffensperger for that, in the hopes that it was going to take away any vote that a MAGA maniac was going to get. Now, it didn't work out so well. I came under the impression saying, hey, look, Burt Jones is probably going to end up winning just off the strength of MAGA maniacs across the state. I was mistaken to the highest degree and surprised. But as I start looking at it and breaking down Rick Jackson, I start to understand why he won. I said this in the video yesterday as well. Every video, every TV commercial, everything, it didn't matter what you was watching. You was going to see Rick Jackson. He flooded the zone. Flooded it with commercials. I ain't even seen the Burt Jackson commercial. I ain't seen it at all. So the power of money is something serious, man, when it comes to elections. Some people might not like that, but I understand it. I sure as shit understand it. Now, as I said in the video yesterday as well, I may, and this might hurt your feelings, Van Cat. There might be in an alternate universe, there might be a chance. You know what? I'm gonna vote for Rick Jackson until I saw this headline right here, because this scared me. And you just read it verbatim, Van Cat. Trump hails billionaire Rick Jackson's GOP primary win despite endorsing Rob. I'm afraid that this gonna pump Rick Jackson to start being on that MAGA maniac shit. And if that happened, Keisha Lance Bottoms got my vote 100%. 100%. So now we play the waiting game.
So he would be playing politics if he did that.
He definitely would. He definitely would.
So he had to make
no question about it.
He had to make a strategic decision what he gonna do, and that would be wrong. I mean, I don't know, man. Republicans, why in the hell are they falling back on this guy? He's a lamed up president. He's not gonna be able to go anywhere after a couple short years. And why are they falling in line again? They act like this is his first term or something, man. Like, we're already halfway through his second term. I don't know why anybody's trying to. As you stay in office, your powers get weaker and weaker. But they somehow think that they get a boost by having his endorsement when Donald Trump is in this unpopular war, tariffs, and all these other economical issues that he created. I don't understand how that's a positive for you. A lot of Republicans are going to be losing their seat come this November, even on top of all the gerrymandering. All the gerrymandering is going to do is just make it a little closer, but they're still going to lose. That's how far off they were to begin with. So I don't know why.
You brought up an important point, Van Cat. So I'm gonna ask you a question.
Yep.
After everything we know now in terms of Trump and how the posturing goes with a lot of Democrats, do you think? And I'm just talking for this term. I ain't speaking in general.
Yeah.
Do you think the effect of the lame duck is still gonna be there with Trump come after the midterm?
Hell yeah.
So how do you think? So what? So when we usually
after
look at
after the midterms, when all these losses come through, he's going to be.
But that's not what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about in terms of, because usually a lame duck, yeah. If it's an opposition that's in legislative power, of course. But I'm talking about all the other Republicans that's still going to be in office. Do you see them turning their heads in neglect in terms of any policy decision Trump may have? Because essentially, that's what make you a lame duck. Yeah, of course, if it's a Democratic majority, he ain't got no choice but to be a lame duck. But even with opposition in the minority, usually a lot of times, remember his last lame duck session with Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell and them was like, fuck Trump. We don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The last 2 years, that's how they were. Do you see that happening this time around with the type of saber rattling and bully tactics that Trump doing in this term?
Yeah, I see it still happening, especially after the midterms. I don't think they could be that stupid, because at that point, what do you have left? It's like literally going to be a countdown from the time he leaves office. What benefit do you have after the midterms is over? That's pretty much it. And then, ironically, Trump set the big beautiful bill to not take effect in the majority of the bill that will hurt people. He made sure to make that take effect after the midterms, because and that's the other thing too. He's already freaked up the economy in a major way with so many bad policy decisions. That's why I can never get when people say, "Oh, I don't like how he talks to people and he does things, but I like his policies." What freaking policies, man? This guy's failed all over the place. So when the big beautiful bill policy hits, it's going to be even more financial issues and stress because of how that bill was made. It's not benefiting the regular working class folks, that's for sure. So it's going to be even more of a burden. These Republicans right now, they know that they're going into a bloodbath with a gerrymandered map across the country. They know what's coming. So I don't know. I don't feel like they will. I mean, you'd have to be a special kind of stupid to continue boasting on Trump after all these losses are going to happen. And because where do you go politically? If the Dems take over the House, maybe even the Senate. I mean, where you go? Because right now, you know what's going to happen. There's going to be a bunch of not legislation, but a bunch of threats to Trump and his family and his cohorts, as far as like prison time and court time, and that's what it's going to be.
Subpoenas out the wazoo.
Yeah.
There's going to be subpoenas out the wazoo, and that's just a fact. But again, when we look at the Republican side, even if they in the minority, this go around, they gonna be looking like, man, do I want to get on his bad side? And
I don't think so. I really don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, I think it's way too late for that right now. But I think some of them are like, you know what? There's still a good 85% that's with him and blah, blah, as far as in the Republican Party. So they don't want to rattle that boat too much. But I don't know. I just think it's after the midterms, I think a lot's going to snap. Especially, I wish it was like major big wins, but because of the gerrymandering, a 12-point defeat is probably going to go down to like 4 points or something like that. But I would have loved that resounding rejection of him, of Trump and policies that he's passed through that's just hurt the public. But it doesn't matter. The win is the win. So all they got to do is take control. And when that happened, they're going to be holding their ass. And I just don't see them, because at this point, what else can you hold on to? He can't offer you anything. He's not in a position at that point. The tables would have turned so drastically. There's nothing. This is a game of politics. Ain't nobody afraid of Trump. They're afraid of the influence of Trump, of the voters. That's what they're afraid of. They're not afraid of Trump.
I think that's more powerful than Trump, though. So I mean, Trump is just a conduit. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I disagree with you, Cat. I'm just be honest, because Trump gonna be dead and gone. MAGA is gonna live on. MAGA is gonna live on, and we gonna discuss more of that. Now there may be some leans and shifts in terms of what MAGA as a whole encompasses, because next week again the discussion is going to be surrounded around the many atrocities of Donald Trump and his administration. The way it's looking like, Ricardo brought up J.D. Vance and The View, and it's been a lot of talk with J.D. Vance, even with this whole Iran situation. They making J.D. Vance to look out like he the actual hero, and I think that's more dangerous than even what we in now. Ricardo, what you got on the government governor election in Georgia with Rick Jackson?
Um, yeah, I mean that race. I know you were more inclined to discuss more because it's in your state more. I wasn't really following that much, pertaining to how it was going to end up being in terms of the results. But I don't think I'm that surprised really because I think with Georgia, I think I was expecting more so. I know you're the guy that you were going for. You were trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. But I just didn't see with the mega crew. I wasn't really betting on your guy per se. I hate to say that though, MD, but there's some people that I don't think I'm moved by, and I wasn't moved by your choice for Georgia. But for the
I wasn't moved by him either though, Ricardo. I did a strategic vote. Is what
you
I
did
did.
right. Well, okay, so that's different then, because it's a strategic vote is more like okay, I'm more inclined going by doing the right thing kind of thing is what more so that. But I think in terms of the alignment, I just didn't see it. In terms of like the people mover or the person that you would think will give you the end results, like how what's her name that ran that one time? I can't remember these people's names now. Like they're in my afterthought, but um what's her name that was that we were really hoping that she would have moved the needle when the current governor that's in place now.
Stacey Abrams.
Yes, Abrams. And we thought Abrams was going to do it. She had everything going for her. She had no records that they could pull up, no dirty work, nothing at all. And it still didn't come through because we're like, okay, well, what happened? It's not that she didn't have the pizzazz or the movement to do it. It's just that there's some people that can't move that forward over the threshold that we need them. And I don't think your guy had it. Now, money talks. This is where it becomes very interesting, even for us going forward here. And I'm sure Venkat is inclined to say the same. I think money is going to be the disruptor in terms of the election going forward, in terms of midterms. I think it talks, and it talks very heavy. I wonder now, in terms of if my calculations are right, most of these people that we're gonna get the surprises by, I think it's more alignment of like who is in whose pockets here, and that's a little bit concerning as well for me, because the influence of money in these races does determine a lot. Like you said in this particular case, in this race, MD, correct me if I'm wrong, you said that you saw more ads for the other guy that won.
Rick Jackson is a fucking billionaire. He ain't in nobody's pocket. He in his own pocket. It was self-funded.
So
he self-funded his own campaign. He spent $100 million in the primary alone.
No, I'm assuming that he's getting back that whole money back through taxes, but that's ridiculously crazy. $100 million just for ads? Like at this point, does a regular Joe Schmo or plumber that wants to run to win a race, do they even stand a chance in the future? Because
that's why it's an uphill battle for Keisha Lance. Keisha Lance Bottom is gonna have to fundraise her ass off in order to win this election.
And not only fundraise, but we need all the people to pull out the stops and ropes to, at this point, like, I'm talking about like those people that money talks, put your money where your money is at this point. Like the Oprahs, the those people that have the money that can do it, like put the fund in there and put it behind her. I just don't know if certain people have that push, and that's my concern when we know the right people that are supposed to be elected here are not going to get the job because
Oprah ain't doing it. Oprah ain't doing it. If she was on the TV with The Rock talking about raising money
for Hawaii, I don't know. I don't know. That's my problem, but that's the problem, though, MD. These are people that are the full core of the Democratic Party, and the full force behind certain other parties, and they are still begging your regular person that works, the me and you that and MD and Mike, that literally work our ass off every day, but you're begging us to do a donation. That makes no sense to me. You're a billionaire. You make tons of money that you can reclaim back in taxes, but you still want the regular Joe Schmo down the road to like fund your causes. That makes no sense. Then it falls on deaf ears here too. And I said the same thing when Trump was running, where he was begging people to send donations. Why? You're already a billionaire. That makes no sense. And people still did it. That is the crazy part. People still took their hard-earning cancer funding money to then help this dude win the election, and now they're complaining. It makes no sense. I was taught from a very young age, if there's no benefit for me at the end, why am I even funding you? That makes no sense. That why would me as a poor person, and I wouldn't call myself poor, but just for analogy purposes, why would I take my hard earning money to then give somebody who's filthy rich? That makes no sense, but people do it because psychologically they're there. But in this case, MD, I don't know. Going forward, other than what's the name that you just mentioned, is there anybody else that could really pull a win here? Because at this point, Georgia is up for grabs, but it's a who's who, and we already know it's a Republican state. It's never going to flip blue, just like Texas. And I don't think I've ever seen them be blue.
I don't believe that with Georgia. I don't believe that with Georgia.
But I mean,
believe Georgia could definitely go full blue.
But at what point have we ever seen it in our lifetime, though?
I don't know if we'll see it in our lifetime, but again, you got to understand the dynamics of the state in and of itself. People from all walks of life are moving to Georgia. I don't like it. That's just me.
No, you wouldn't like it, though, MD. You're kind of like me.
I don't like it.
Me and Vecca can't stand these New Yorkers coming down here, so we know what you feel like. We know how you feel about that.
You ask, if you go downtown Atlanta right now, you go ask 10 people where they from. Chances are, I would say 80%, 8 out of 10 of them people are not from Georgia.
Yep,
that's just a fact.
Yep.
That the economic, and this is why, again, you mentioned Stacey Abrams. I didn't vote for Stacey Abrams. I voted for Brian Kemp. I'm not ashamed to say that.
No, and there's nothing wrong with you saying that.
Brian Kemp did so much economically for this state. That's just a. You love him or hate him, and socially wise. But Brian Kemp did so much for this state, bro. That's just what it is. Brian Kemp is the reason why the shit is going so blue. Because of the economic power through subsidies and everything, tax breaks, that he brought industry to the state. That's why all these people are here. Not to mention, relative to what a place like California, or New York, or Chicago might cost, is cheaper. Now, that ain't gonna be like that for long. Not the way that it's going. I couldn't dare afford to live in the city right now. I just can't do it.
Hell no.
You know what I mean? If I want to eat or have some type of comfort in my life, I wouldn't be able to do it. That's just a fact. But it's so much industry that got brought to the overall, the whole state, not just Atlanta, the whole state. Brian Kemp is responsible for that. I'd never take that away from him. I can't do it. I can't do it. But that same industry that he brought to the state, the people that came, they Democrats. That's just a fact. That Georgia will soon be New York. And it's always been called the Empire State of the South. It's always, since I was little, it's been called that. Because we've always had industry. Not like we got it right now. That's just a fact. Like, it's too much money to be made in Georgia right now. Too much money. That's just what it is. And those people that are coming, they're college educated and they're voting Democrat. Now, when they get down here, they feel just like me. Damn, I can't afford to live in city limits. So I'll move east of town. I'll move west of town. I'll move south, north. And all that urban sprawl, that's what urban sprawl is, has now encompassed the city and create what it is now. That's why we have a Democrat congressman in a predominantly, well, historically, Republican district with Lucy McBath. That's why you got stuff. So we're purple right now. We purple. We got a large bulk in our state houses right now. We got 2 Democratic senators. We got every city in the state got a Democratic House representative. Every one. So we purple. A place like Texas can't say that. They just can't do it. Even if they elect Tallarico, it's still gonna be deep red. Still. That's a fact. You got to have Democratic power in all aspects of government in order to be purple. Look at another state, North Carolina. North Carolina, if you look on the outside looking in, it looked like a red state. It's not.
It
It's not.
does. It's purple state. That much I know.
Virginia, same thing, purple.
Yep.
Because a place like DC, where you got all these Democrats that work in DC, they don't live in DC. They live in Virginia.
Yes, they do.
It's a big concentration of people that far outpower all in Appalachia and all that shit. They don't matter. We don't give a damn about these hillbillies. It's too many people in the metropolitan areas. With Texas, it's different. The metropolitan area encompasses both Democrat and Republican. Now in Houston proper, yeah, that's Democratic. What about all of Harris County that's around it? That shit is still red. That's the difference. That's what I'm telling you, Ricardo.
Got you.
So,
and
yeah, go ahead.
no, it doesn't say. Well, we'll see. It's a question of what will happen next is what I'm interested to see. Georgia is very interesting because we already know it's purple. It's one of those states that's I would love to see it turn blue in our lifetime. Probably not because of the legislation that they have, legislators and legislation that they have. But it's not impossible. But it is a state I'm going to be watching carefully. Florida is almost at that. I don't even know where to put Florida at this point, Venkat, because we're both down here, and it's the cost of living has gone up so high here because so much people come here, and then most of them don't live here, but they come here and visit, or they have a house here, but they live in other states. I don't know how it works, but all I can tell you, the cost of living is so high in Florida, it outpaces California 4-1. So it's interesting to see how Florida going forward will go in terms of the midterms as well. We know there's a lot of MAGA maniacs that voted for Trump, and we all know Trump lives down here. So it will be interesting to see how the voters that have now taken over the block. And just to answer Jeremy's question, hold on to the point of the Latino voters being an influence down here. The reason why we know the black women are the most disenfranchised in terms of unemployment. I'm going back to, and you just mentioned it, when Trump came in the whole DC situation, a lot of people don't live in DC, but they live in Virginia. Most of those people that got laid off from the government jobs were primarily black women, and their numbers reflect that in terms of statistical wise. So that's what I was stating. In terms of overall, they're the most affected from the Trump administration this time around, and MD can back that up because there's stats that shows that from the whole DC DMV area, like the black women were the most affected in terms of unemployment wise because a lot of government jobs were primarily them. So that's where that stat came from. But
the
the whole nonsense, which we didn't get a check from Doge, and I have no idea what they did. And all I know is that most of our information got compromised from Elon Musk, who is now probably the most powerful billionaire or trillionaire we've ever had in our lifetime. And that states a lot. But that's a whole other conversation to be had.
So how you guys feel about a guy being a whole damn trillionaire? Like we really think this is your...
We're gonna talk. We're gonna talk about that next week. I already got it in the slide.
Okay,
already got it.
We're gonna talk about it. But you guys should be mortified because again, when Doge came in, have we heard anything from Doge since did they disband at this point? I don't even know because he rode off into the sunset. Again, I think this is all orchestrated, and I've said this from the beginning of the October before, where I'm like, there's so much that we should be concerned about because if this man has so much hands in the pot in terms of the contracts that he has, why is it that there was never anything done in terms of information being researched about him and all that? It's given very strange dynamics, and it goes back to the election night when Trump won. I call me a conspiracy theorist at this point. When the lights flickered and everything went, who's to say that he wasn't involved with these Skynet satellites that he had? But that's a whole conversation to be had. So going back to my point again, because we're going to touch into that. There's a whole bunch of stuff. There's something about him I don't like.
Hey, look what Jeremy Dunbar said, Rips.
What he said.
What Jeremy Dunbar
Good
said.
for him is how I feel about it. He has created 4,000 minutes. Oh, well, I mean.
Hey, y'all know me. Hold on, wait a minute now. I got to go on the phone booth.
Go for it.
Now, you know, I promote capitalism on this program, right?
Yes,
That's what
Not
I promote.
productive.
This is what I'll say about it, and I'm glad Jeremy Dunbar brought that up. Again, we're gonna talk about this next week, and you know, I want to try to stick to the program. I don't have an issue per se
Oh boy.
with Elon Musk being a trillionaire. I
Come
have
on,
an issue
MD.
with him being able to just relax, Van Cat. Just relax. I don't want to get your blood pressure. Just relax. I don't have an issue with Elon Musk being a trillionaire in general. I don't have no issue with that. I promote capitalism. I have an issue with him being able to boost his profit via the federal government. That's what I got an issue with.
that part. That's the part I have a concern with.
I don't see how you're able to bring a company public in the midst of you being up on the government contract. I don't believe that's real capitalism. That's just me. That's just me.
It's
But, you know,
unproductive. It's not efficient. You can't have one dude having all the freaking money. I don't care how many people we pretend he's enriching. It's peanuts to all the people that don't have economic opportunities, don't have options and ability to make or generate money. It's not, there's no way in hell. What is he doing that's so productive? What is he doing that, as far as work, that justify that kind of money? It's not a smart thing. How many pants he gonna buy? How many cars he gonna buy? He's one freaking guy.
With
The fact that
burgers.
we keep idolizing.
Why you pocket watching, man? Why you pocket watching, bro?
It's desperately needed
No.
because these people out here is like putting, and it speaks to a lot, right? Because I got all these bastards out here liking friggin' Batman like he's a real friggin' superhero. Then they get rich. That's his superpower. That's not a real superhero. Everything we doing is idolizing people that have money. And meanwhile, majority of these bastards ain't even really had a skill, a talent, or any know-how or ability to really do anything to garner that wage that they owe.
What they got to do with you? They ain't got nothing to do with you.
It has everything to do with me because the more he sucks up, the less of everybody else has to get. 62 people walking around here with half all the money in the world. So now we got to fight with Shaquille O'Neal and Oprah and them because Oprah and Shaquille O'Neal is not one of the 62. That's ridiculous. Like, that's like a backwards way of thinking. Why are we allowing individuals, small groups of people, to have the largest amount of capital? That's like the dumbest thing ever. No wonder there's so much poverty all over the place.
But you're in the age of oligarchs, though.
That's some bull. That's some bull.
The oligarch conversation is something totally different. Like I said again, that's why I say we have to learn how to separate what capitalism is versus crony cap. A lot of people don't have that understanding. You know, that's just what it is. Well, I'm very distinct when I define capitalism. Very distinct.
Yeah, but MD, your capitalism ain't working only because I say this because the people that have the money are literally making the rules. And those rules are being tailored to create a situation and a system that are making these millionaires.
I don't disagree with that, but that's not capitalism, though. That's what I'm saying, telling you, Van Cat.
That's why I'm saying it's not working.
My capitalism is very distinct. That's what I'm telling you. I agree with what you just said.
Your capitalism is like allowing people to do these things, but you think like the capitalism is going to. You think capitalism is going to correct everything in the long run? It doesn't.
But you haven't seen capitalism yet, Van Cat. You haven't seen. You don't know what capitalism look like. You haven't seen it.
It's a great fantasy area where it's like that like those damn fairy tales where it's this great old enchanted forest that you want to attain, but you can't because it doesn't have a mechanism to keep it genuine. There's too many.
Hey, Jeremy, listen, man. Listen. You need to come back on full-time Take Fist Politics, man. Because again, you the only person that gets it. You the only person that gets it. I need you back, Jeremy. I need you back, man. Van Cat believe what he see on TV is capitalism. It's not.
Oh, Lord.
It's not.
You guys are trying
Jeremy,
to
you spot
protect.
on, man.
You guys are trying to protect capitalism. If capitalism was so great, crony capitalism or any kind of version of it would not be able to prosper or even work. That's my problem with capitalism. So this idea that capitalism is like the be all end all is clearly not the case. It wouldn't even have a chance. Your cronyism or whatever the hell you want to blame this week, it wouldn't be able to even be a thing because capitalism would be thumping so hard. It's flawed, it's inefficient, and it ain't right. You can't just say capitalism and that's it. No, there's got to be more aspects and more levels to it. It can't just be straight capitalism. It ain't going to work. It hasn't been working. And the people that are taking advantage of these lights in the eyes of people believing capitalism is this and that and whatnot. And we at this point, we've made capitalism into our own imaginary thing of whatever we want it to be. But in the end of the day, it's true. It's true. It's like this nice fantasy that some people like to thump their chest and feel like, oh, they're making a statement. No, you're not. All you're doing is giving an out to really freaking rich people being able to screw everybody over. And it's not working. It's not working, and people are falling behind.
I just told you what I believe Elon is doing is wrong. I literally just told you that.
I hear that.
So you can't put that jacket on me, Van Cat. You can't do it because I understand that what Elon is doing right now is wrong, but he's doing it under the guise of crony capitalism. I'm saying telling you that's not capitalism, but you don't want to hear what I got to say.
No, but why is it capitalism gets the protection of, oh, well, it's because of this other issue. That's why this isn't working out. But every little thing, imaginary or real, for socialism is, well, that's because of socialism. I think there's a lot of grace being given here to capitalism and all its flaws and everything else. We still lead with it as, oh, it's the great thing. Even Democrats talk with Joe Biden himself. I'm a capitalist. I'm a capitalist through and through and whatnot. Like saying it like it's this great thing. You can have elements of capitalism, sure. You can have elements of socialism. There's got to be a combination of different things. This little Lego image of capitalism just filling in the economy and making it great is not the ideal way. It's a combination of different things to make this work. Oversimplifying this economy is ridiculous. And the whole capitalism thing need to go out the window because it's hurt a lot of people and it's enriched a lot of the wrong people. And it's just not right. People need to call out for what it is.
You can't help yourself, Van Cat. You continue to do it.
No, but
you continue. I say it's not capitalism, yet you still specify it's capitalism, and that's the overlying issue, right there, Van Cat. But again,
why is it always socialism? Every time, any little thing go.
I didn't say nothing about socialism. I didn't say nothing about socialism.
Everybody says something about
socialism. Said that. I ain't said nothing about no socialism. Listen, I understand that we live in a mixed economy. But all of that is based on local and state law. Again, I put the rule of law over everything. If we have a situation where if it's a local government and the people choose to go that route, so be it. I can't stop that. I can't stop it.
You see what Jeremy is doing right here? He says, should a doctor be paid the same as a person in McDonald's? That's a loaded question. That's a question you say so that you can misrepresent a point, right? Because we can say that, but we can never say, should a person that works X amount of hours a day that is responsible for the front line of a corporation's income right on the front line, dealing with all the stuff that's necessary, that's not very appealing to do. But if they don't do it, the damn business fall apart. Should that person not be able to make a certain amount of wage, a livable wage? We never say that. We always do these weird equivalation. What, MD? I see what you're doing. You put me up here with the big head. You're killing me right now, MD. But
I'm letting you rock out, man. I ain't do nothing wrong.
I'm just saying. I've seen these manipulations where we dig into these misrepresentations of certain arguments, and usually, whether knowingly or unknowingly, we're saying things that's propping up the rich and the powerful. When you're not rich and you're not powerful, you're actually going against the working class, the American workers. You need to see it from the majority of the people are workers, are working class folks. Things got to start working out for that group of people. You'll never have a thriving economy when you have a bunch of people freaking struggling, not to mention the other hundreds or thousands more that are homeless and just on the sideline not doing nothing. That is why I say it's inefficient. This whole thing is inefficient. Lining the pockets of people that got too much is not an efficient way of working an economy. That's just silly.
So tell me how, and the game is over. Let me turn this off. Tell me how it's on, and like I said, we got to keep going here, but I just got one. I just got one question for you. Then we'll move on.
Yep.
Tell who's lining the pockets of the rich and powerful. Who's doing it?
Well, the government, politicians, even unwilling.
I agree with that, and that's
unwitting
wrong.
People that are not in tune to what's really going on. It easily happens that way. You could go back to Reagan and his decisions and whatnot, the way CEOs get paid. It's ridiculous. Like people go crazy. Like if I said, for a job, a regular job that doesn't have you doing a bunch of stuff, but it's an important job, you would be like, if I said that person should get $32 an hour. You go, what? $32 an hour? Meanwhile, a CEO is getting like $16,000 a minute. And like, we don't bat an eye to that. That's what I'm saying. Like, we do things that's counter American workers. And we are like pro businessman, which are like the few and far in between. And some of these things we're saying is like weird ass chest thumper talk that really ain't got no real foot in the game right now. We got to objectively look at what the hell we're saying and what the hell we're doing, but we're not. We're aiding. We're emboldening our own oppressors. Yeah, I don't think it's cool. I don't think it's cool at all.
So you being oppressed now for having a good job.
I see that look on your face, so I already know you're being condescending.
I'm not being condescending. I don't. Me going to work every day, I don't look at myself as being oppressed. I look at myself as, but again, like I said, my situation is different from other people. I quit this motherfucker tonight and go home. I have a job by Monday, but again, different industries require different labor supply and demand, and ultimately that's what it comes down to. But like I said, man,
okay. So like we talk about supply and demand, and we talk about different industries. There's certain industries that make an enormous amount of money, but the people that work in it are systematically put into lower wages, even though hand over fist, year after year, that industry makes a phenomenal amount of money. But then we look at other things, and then we allow ridiculous growth and absorbent salaries it's like a hand-selected situation. That's what it is.
So stop right there, Venkat. I just said supply and demand. What's more scarce, the line worker or the manager? which is more scarce?
So because there's more of those workers.
Simple question, Vatcat. Simple question.
Stop it.
Which is more scarce, the line worker or the manager? That's that's managing the line.
So if we were in COVID and there was that major shortage of workers or people willing to come out to work, who would be then more scarce at that point? Who would be more important?
You're right. That's why even at restaurants they were giving signing bonuses when stuff started. Oh, you saw some franchise restaurants were giving like $5,000, $10,000 sign-up. You saw that, right?
Yeah, I saw it.
Why were they doing that?
Because it was hard to obtain people at that particular time. People didn't want to take the risk of working a job that doesn't pay phenomenal to get COVID.
Meaning it was high demand, low supply, correct?
Yeah, but even those rules are a bunch of bull too.
Oh my
it's all bull crap.
The rules of nature is bullshit, is what Vatcat just said.
No, the rules of nature is real. The rules of man is a bunch of bull crap. Because
Vatcat done turned the show left, y'all. Go ahead. Matter of fact, let me do this. Go ahead, Vatcat. Go ahead.
Oh, I can't. I can't.
Go ahead, man.
No, that's all right, MD.
Vatcat Soapbox Live. Go ahead.
Go ahead, MD. Continue with the show, sir.
I want you to finish, man.
No, I ain't got nothing to say, man.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I am sure.
Because you're gonna keep arguing with Jeremy. Jeremy gonna keep commenting. So, I just want to make sure you got it out your system. That's all.
Oh, come on, man.
Ricardo done start eating his Hot Pocket now.
Nah, not me.
Because he like...
I don't eat Hot Pockets. That junk give you diarrhea. I'm dead serious. It's horrible.
Okay, all right. Well, all right, man. So let's move on to the show.
Yeah.
Speaking of Florida, I'll be remiss not to talk about this.
Yep.
So it's a debacle going on in Florida's. I think it's District 20. I think.
Yep.
How redistricting pit Wasserman Schultz against black Democrats in Florida. Y'all Floridians, y'all tell me what's going on down there, and what's the? I believe, Ricardo, that's y'all district, correct?
It's border. It's actually in my district. That is correct. It's
okay. Yeah. So yeah, man. I need your input on what's going on with Debbie Wasserman Schultz, man, and how Negroes down there feel.
The problem is Debbie, and not for nothing, Debbie has been
annoying.
What you call a legacy. She's
first. Let me ask you this. Hold on before you start, Ricardo.
Mm-hmm.
I need. Are you gonna give your vote to Uncle Luke?
Oh, I would vote for Luke.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He would get my vote.
I would vote for Luke.
He's been very. You know what? He's surprised me a lot, MD. To be perfectly honest, Uncle Luke, the Mr. I'm Nasty from back in the day, has really been so opinionated that he's actually moving the needle a lot for the black community, and I think
we don't went from grabbing by the pussy to pop that pussy.
To pop
it. Lord.
Yep. And busting it wide open.
Pop that pussy. Pop.
It's very, very surprising that Uncle Luke, of all people, I never thought I'd live to see this day, but he's been very much an outspoken figure, but he's always been a very outspoken figure. But to see him politically now in that drive, he's kind of like, he's equivalent to how people felt, because I know MD feels indifferent about like how Plies, like all of a sudden became like political, and everybody was like, wait, like you were that politically sound? It's the same. So I think for me, he would get my vote in a heartbeat. I would have no issues giving him the vote. Now that's very shocking to come out of my mouth, but nothing should shock you.
I would agree with you though, Ricardo. I would even say since the free speech trial, he was always political.
Mm-hmm.
That was a political thing.
But it's very interesting to hear his take and speak so pronounced on the nuances of it, and not be like, okay, well, wait a minute, you're more like it will be like, I don't know if you probably do listen to him. It would be the equivalent of if what's his name? What's the other one that's down here that also speaks as well? That was on Love and Hip Hop. Um, that sings he always Trick Daddy. He loved the kids. If Trick Daddy was to ever come out tomorrow and say he's doing something and like he's politically astute, it just throws everything off because you're like, wait a minute, you're a street nigga. You come from the streets. So it's kind of like that. So it's throwing a lot of people off when it comes to Uncle Luke in that same manner because I never thought I will ever hear that man speak so politically astute, but he's very pronounced. When the Carmelo case came out, he was talking about that. He's very pronounced about how Trump and all these croonies are down here doing certain things, certain elections that black people need to be focusing on, zeroing in. He's been that type of person in the past few months that I've been like, okay, well, that's very surprising. I didn't know Uncle Luke know all about that stuff, but why would he not? So, and he's also been very vocal about the Epstein files because apparently he's been in that, atmosphere where I don't know if he was alluding to it, where he was saying, he's been around, that kind of people like Epstein people, and he's always found it weird, but never realized that he was a part of it, if that makes sense, because he was invited to certain things. So he's given the gist of it. But back to Schultz before I go off on a nigga babble. She's been one of those people that has been very vocal. She's been there from the onset. She's been, the Democratic Party thing. But I feel like she has a hard time letting go. She reminds me of what's her name? That was a part of the Democratic Party, but and then her husband got injured by the hammer
Pelosi.
guy, by Pelosi. She reminds me of Pelosi in the sense where when people are saying, okay, now it's the time to go. We appreciate your efforts. You've done a great job. But now it's time to let the new school, the new class come in and give them, way. She says, oh, but I've done so much. That's literally what they asked her today. She said, oh, but I'm the one that gets things done. There's nothing wrong with you getting stuff done, my dear, but now is the time to allow the outcrops from below get into the race. And I think she's having a difficult time. It's like kind of like she's saying, but why would you want to get rid of me now? Like I've been the one that does, been doing all the work. And I don't know how you feel about it, Van Cap, but I feel like it's given to me, she's basically given the I am not ready to leave speech. And I think she's gonna have a difficult time when it comes to the black, voters down here. They're gonna look at it like, okay, so yes, it's I think she is a Zionist. I could be wrong, but I think so because she's Western man.
She Jewish, ain't she?
She's Jewish. That's what I'm saying. So the voters here will give her the push, but the black population now, this is where she's gonna have a hard time. If it comes down to it, I do see her probably losing, but I don't think so. It's gonna cut it really close, but she's up there. She just if and I don't think we've seen her do anything that would make her be kicked out easily though. Have you ever seen her get in trouble down here, Rankat? I don't think so. She's not that type of person
No,
that's
she
threatening.
gets away with a lot, but
She gets away with a lot,
people
but
don't like her over here. I know a coworker of mine, he can't stand her. Like, and he met her in real life. He can't stand her.
yeah,
So Ricardo, do you look at it as it being like white savior syndrome? Was she
yeah,
trying to swoop in? Because I believe because of redistricting in Florida, this is going to be the only black
yes.
majority district in the state, right?
Correct. That is correct. That's where the issue comes in, and I think for the first time, it now puts her in that crossroads or the crosshairs of the Black Caucus that's down here. I think we never thought we'll see this particular issue come into play, but here we are because Florida is now doing the push of doing the whole redistricting initiative, like how Texas did it, and if what's his name gets his way, the current governor gets what he wants, more like it's going to be the play here. I just don't know if she's going to have an easy time letting go of, being the person that's no longer going to be in charge. I don't know how that's going to work for her, but a lot of people, she's polarizing. It's either you like her or you don't like her. And I don't know where else everybody else fits in terms of the voting. So it will be interesting. I know it is that, I think it comes across to me, MD, like just how you just said it, the white savior syndrome. I think that's where we have a problem with this. I don't know if if the Democrats are gonna, and more than likely she's gonna get the push because again, big money talks. So she could get the push from the money put aside in terms of the blocks, but I don't know. It's a tough race all around. I usually I know how to predict these things. I just don't know where everything's gonna fall coming the midterms. I just don't know. For her, it's a toss up, and I think it's a very hard one. I just don't. It could go either way. It could
Hey,
go either way.
Ricardo, Jeremy Dunbar was asking you a question
What
about, I
has
guess,
either one
yeah,
you
he's
are
talking about, I think he's talking about Trick Daddy and Uncle Luke. What is either one you were speaking on done for the people?
done for the people, like in terms of the community itself?
Yeah.
Uncle Luke has been one of those people where he, and I'm not for nothing, like he's literally done, like goes back. Like, you've heard like Trevor mention when he had his show where if you came from a certain community that you're supposed to go back and at least try to aspire, try to help out. He is one of those people that I've known of that goes back into the Miami community where he's from and actually like done pushes meaning like get community centers and get kids off the street and donate during like the Thanksgiving, the usual crap that you usually see people do. I haven't seen anything where he does anything else other than like your peewee football thing. I don't know what you call those MD where they do like
Yeah,
these.
yeah, yeah. He do a lot with
He does,
youth
yeah.
football.
He does a lot with football, and I think he's don't quote me, but I think his son plays for a team, something like that. But he's been a part of that sector where he goes into his community and do push and drives of like food drives and food banks and all that stuff. So I wouldn't say he's like a Snoop Dogg that doesn't and go back into Compton and do all that stuff. Like he is a part of the whole Miami scene. So that's where I said it would be. I didn't know he was astute like that politically until I heard him 2 months ago or a couple of months back, where he was like, "Yeah, I might jump into the race, and Black people need to now be aware of the croonies and all these people that are here." And I was like, "Oh, wait, he's kind of like applies." Like I didn't know, he was that astute, but he is, Jeremy. He's been. I'm not gonna put it on him where he's not. He's never been back to his community. He's still, even though he's up there and might have moved out, he still goes back from time to time and contribute to the Miami community he's from. So I can't say. And Trick has also been that type of person as well. Like Trick opens businesses in his community. He's been here. He's done stuff. So in either case, people like those I will support, because if you're coming back to put money where your mouth is when it comes to like spending wise, when you make it big and all that, I'm a big proponent of contributing back to the hood that you're from. So they've done either one. If we're calling out either one of them, they've done quite a lot for their community. I will say that.
So I'm asking you two more questions, then I'm gonna go to Van Camp.
Mhm.
So is it safe to say whoever wins that I don't even know when the primary is. I was looking in the article to see if I could find when the date of the primary was gonna be, but I don't think it did say. Is it safe to say that whichever Democrat wins this primary pretty much wins that seat?
Ain't
Ain't no Republican gonna win that seat, right?
I don't know. That's the thing, MD. It's this state is so weird now. Like I don't even know at this point, because once upon a time we could predict it, but when I don't know how to say it. In Florida, there's a lot of MAGA maniacs voters that are from the Cuban community, I would say. It's more so, and they have thrown the state election vote wise off what the trajectory usually would be. I know there's a huge, like, again, it comes back to the urban sprawl. In Orlando, it's a huge Democratic base. In Broward County, where I'm from, it's the largest Democratic voting block in terms of being southwise, lower than the Okeechobee Center. So, and then Venkat, you're in close to West Palm Beach. So I don't know where that fits in, but it still probably would be more close to primarily Democratic, even though it's like leaning red.
Oh yeah, that's definitely going to be the Democratic area.
So it's the Miami sector now where you have all the amalgamation of all the Hispanic voters, where now it's mostly the Cuban or Cuban affiliated voters, where they're now, we didn't know they were deeply megamaniac voters. I don't know if we could differentiate the megamaniacs from the deep red voters that will usually vote blue Democratic. So we don't know how it will flip. If it will flip, it's based on how people are feeling or how affected they are economically down here. And we know South Florida is again, I've mentioned this in the beginning of the show, the cost of living here is so astronomically bad now. Like you can't even believe, MD, how really hard it is. Like even a regular hard working person like myself is having a hard time even like trying to put like pieces like my own food, like putting food around my table, because it's like you have to be worrying about bills and this and there's so much. But I would love to know how that's going to affect the vote going forward. I just don't know if it pushes the needle to be blue. That's where it becomes hard. And the redistricting of the area that we're in, I know Orlando has primarily always been because of the Puerto Ricans that are there. And again, I shouldn't even be saying it, but that's how the voting block works. Orlando is strongly Puerto Rican. I don't know if they're going to be voting differently, but it's never been flipped red. So I don't know, MD. It's a very toss-up kind of thing here. And Westerman is in that boat where if they redistrict, which they are, I don't know how the black voters, if they're going to do the master
It ain't if they
single.
are, they already done did it.
I know, yeah. Yeah, but I don't know.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap. I don't know how she's gonna fit into the equation now. When it's all said and done. I just don't know. I think, and she should be worried because I don't think she's campaigned. Every time she's run, she does one or two campaign ads, and then that's it. So I don't know if the other people will have the amount of money to do the effort of pushing against her, and that's where she probably ends up winning because she will get the money from the Democratic Party side, whereas everybody else
Right.
that's running is just a riffraff. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It could go either way.
Much like Texas, y'all in the same boat. Where y'all metropolitan areas, yeah, it might be concentrated Democrat leaning, like within the inner city, but once you go outside that shit, you back in Podunk.
Yes, you are.
And then it's worse for y'all because y'all like against the wall, like the Atlantic Ocean or the Gulf. You know what I'm saying? So it's double worse for people in Florida. Like
Yeah.
it's crazy to me to think that Jacksonville is not Democrat, like ran everything. You know what I'm saying? But it's not though. Reason being is because Jacksonville is so big, and it's sitting on a wall, Atlantic Ocean. Once you go to west of that 10, Podunk.
But the
like
funny
immediately,
part,
you know what I'm saying?
The funny part about it is that Jacksonville is the fastest growing city in Florida. So in terms of like, all the big businesses and all the stuff, that's where literally it's going. Like I've been up to Jacksonville and I'm like, wait a minute, it's the urban sprawl and the quickness of everything being urbanized here is getting ridiculously up there. But when you go out, again, you mentioned the same thing. When you go to somewhere like Gainesville, where it has probably one of
Gainesville, you might not survive.
It's
They
complete.
might use your ass as gator bait. In
So Florida is such a weird mixed bag. Like I don't know, we can't even pinpoint it because you are. I think just south of Gainesville, it has the largest, oldest set of voters in America, where there's like a huge community of the, I guess, elderly people, I guess, that live, like you would say, the old folks home.
It's black people all through North Florida though.
That's true.
Like once you get past, I always say this: once you get past like Ocala, then you start to enter international territory. You know what I'm saying? Everything
It's wild
Ocala
out.
North is nigga town. Everywhere I go in Florida, I go through Florida every day through the Panhandle. Nigga towns. That's all I see. So I'm saying like, why? I don't understand. Like, where's the black representation at in the Panhandle? I mean, it's there, like Pensacola and Tallahassee. Those cities are majority, they're black ran. But the representation on a state and federal level ain't there. It's not.
And just to answer Jeremy's question here, do you think Jacksonville is growing faster because Miami has reached its limits? Yes, Miami has been reached its limits past along. The problem with, if you look at Florida, it's like a skeleton. So when they built South Florida, because the reason why Miami is so popular is because the river, the Miami River, before it became the industrialized thing that it is now, was the only freshwater meeting point that you have before you got to the Atlantic Ocean. So when citrus fruits and all that was grown, it wasn't affected by, because if you know Florida well, close to the Georgia border or anywhere near the border, you could get winter. In South Florida, it's not really affected that much when it comes to like growing crops. So they realized that one winter, like all the citrus, if you're, and just to school y'all, citrus is like the biggest fruit here in Florida. When it gets affected in the winter, it affects everything that's above a certain part of the state line. And in South Florida, they found it never gets affected. So that's where people start moving into Miami when they realize, hey, the citrus fruit is not getting affected by crap, and then you have the Keys and all of that. So people now will always flock to Miami, but the problem is it's reached its urban sprawl growth, and it's so overpopulated because everybody wants to come here. Now it's like traffic. If you've been to LA, you would know how bad it is. Like traffic is terrible here. It takes you 30 minutes to drive from your home to get to work, it's that bad. So people are now getting fed up and they're moving outwards. They're going northbound where it's like easier. So they're moving out of the urban metropolitan areas like the Miami, the Fort Lauderdales, the West Palm Beach, and they're going further to the Jacksonville area. I don't know if that helps that much, or Orlando. If the transportation sucks here because they're trying to build the high speed rail system, and even that's getting a pushback. Because people drive a lot in Florida, and I've never understood why they never built, urban transportation to the degree of being up there. But this is Florida. It's again, Van Cat will tell you, it took us how many years to get the minimum wage to go where? It's always been $7.85. It's just starting to move the needle. So it's really backwards, but it's the urban sprawl and everybody trying to come here, and it's probably one of the biggest Latin American pit stops that you could get to. And if you're coming into the United States, you will have to, everything goes through Miami first, and then it spreads out. So people are getting sick and tired of being down here. They're moving further upwards where there's less issues. So that might, to answer your question there, Jeremy, that's probably one of the factors. Yes.
All right, Van Cat, you got anything on the Wasserman
Westerman?
Show debacle?
Yeah.
No, I think it's pretty covered well with Carter there.
But who are you leaning towards voting on, Van Cat, for that race? I don't know who. There's like 6 of them. I don't even know who in there.
I know that's the thing. When it's so many people like that, that's why I have to look at each one of them. I'm looking back at like any information or videos I can find. I want to hear them talking in an interview to see how they are.
Even the lady that stole the money, she in the race.
She should not be
I
there.
was waiting for you to say that, MD.
She should not even be there. I don't even know why. She should be in jail.
I don't know why she's in there either. I thought
she should be in jail.
I thought ethically speaking, she wasn't supposed to enter the race, but this is Florida. Nothing should surprise you at all.
Yeah,
but
she's crazy.
She should not have been there. I don't know how she ended up back in that race, because she stole a lot of money. When I mean, it's not even chump change, it's a lot of money she stole. But that's a whole other conversation to be had. I don't know who. If my bets might be at this point be Uncle Luke, I don't know, but I'm still gonna do my research and my due diligence before I vote for anybody. But it looks like there's 5 Negroes on one side and the one Westerman on the other, and that's where we're falling at this point.
Yeah, that's a big problem too, where the politicians are facing less consequences for illegal activity. A cashier at a regular ass store steal $25, they're gonna chain your ass up. I've seen it myself. They're gonna give you that walk of shame. Freaking cops gonna come around here looking at, like, okay, you stole that $25.
Van Cat admitting that he's stealing out the register.
No, I'm not.
He has to survive, MD. MD has to survive in this capitalism. He has to survive in this capitalistic world. He has to survive.
No, that's not me. That's me witnessing a whole bunch of crap that I've been seeing over the years, man. And it's just crazy, man. The way things are. You could be a cashier, a regular ass old lady cashier, and you got more things to abide by more regulations and rules and consequences coming your way as a 65-year-old elderly lady that's a cashier. If she mess up, oh my God. And here we got people running for office and they're brazenly breaking the law. And
you saying register come up short, you're going to jail.
Oh, yeah, I'm just saying, man. It just seems like it's hard on peons like that. It's just crazy.
Okay, all right. Well, you might get a kick out of this one, Venkat. This next story. We got 2 more stories, then we got the duck. Then we up out of here. So, I wanted to talk to you about this, Venkat.
Yeah.
This is an NPR report saying, "Do internet superstars matter in elections?"
Hell
and
no.
of course, we're talking about Hassan Piker and all the candidates that he's endorsed and campaigned for. The bulk majority of them have lost their primary.
Of course they're gonna lose.
But there's one that's being highlighted. This Al Sayed guy up in Michigan. I think that primary is August 4th, and they're saying that there might be a slight chance that he could pull it out. And as far as in the primary, in this report, it talks about not just Hassan Piker, but a lot of people getting into social media, and it's talking about Spencer Pratt, which we're gonna also. That's gonna be the last story.
Lord.
The LA mayor race. It's talking about how Spencer Pratt came up and got a big media following online, and it's been others. You know what I'm saying? So, Venkat, do you believe that? And of course, Joe Rogan. 2024. That was a huge factor.
The influence that he had
with getting Trump elected. Do you think it's an optimal strategy, or do you look at? Me personally, I think it's a joke. I don't think. That's not to say that people that are influencers or media figures can't have a take. I'll never say that. But should we take their stances as like the Bible law? No, of course not. You know what I mean? I think
people are inclined to listen to them because they feel a kind of a relatability with them. I mean, Kamala Harris, she completely didn't do that interview with Joe Rogan. Now, after the fact, we hear a kind of a different story. It came by as a different story, more like Joe Rogan messed up the opportunity for that more so than Kamala Harris did. But a lot of people feel like that may have hurt her, among other things, for sure. Like when she couldn't answer the whole what is the difference between you and Joe Biden on The View. I think that really hurt her when she said. But yeah, I think this other type of media that we have, it can't be pushed to the side or dismissed. It does have an impact. It's there. How much of an impact, I guess, will vary from influencer to influencer and situation and race upon race. So, but we know that in 2024, it damn sure had a big ass impact. Not just Joe Rogan, but others as well. So,
yeah. I mean, it had a huge impact. To me, I just gauge it as, people being easily influenced based on stupidity. You know what I'm saying? And people have preconceived notions about what they want to believe. All they need, they don't need a group of people. All they need is one person. Right. Especially if it's a popular person. All they need is one person for that confirmation bias. Just need one. And that's not a one-sided issue. That's on both sides. We're seeing that right now with Hassan Piker. We're seeing it literally right now. All you need is one.
But whenever we say the both sides thing, is it at the same level though? Because there's Hassan Piker and maybe a couple others, where on the right side, there's a litany and there's a pack of niggas that just have that type of outlet there. There's way more. so the both sides thing always gets me because, yeah, Hassan is one for sure, but Joe Rogan's the biggest one of all. He's on the right.
Yeah.
And then there's many, many, many of them as well. So it's never really the same. And that's the thing. With me, it seems like with Democrats in politics, the Democrats are walking in a muddy room with white outfit on. And like for them to get through that from one end to the next with no dirt on them, that's a tall order. And it just seems like there's the equivalency of the Republicans could just be drunk, piss on themselves, and that's good enough to compete with a Democrat that's trying to balance perfection.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. But but I don't look at it from quantity. I look at it from quality. I mean, it is what it is on both sides.
Yeah.
When you look at people like
Hassan Piker is not on the level of Joe Rogan, though. You would say, right?
Yeah. Of course not. Of course not.
Oh, okay.
But even when you look at guys like what's the little jackass name, the little young guy.
Oh, you're talking about
like a Adam Mockler.
Yeah.
What's the other little young guy? Shit. When you look at guys like that,
yeah,
I look at it the same way. You just another talking head to me. What it's a common thing with Democrat influencers, right?
Yeah.
They got like this debate bro. It's almost like they reading off a card almost. You know what I'm saying? That's why I talk shit about people like David Pakman and Brian Tyler. I talk shit about them because they robotic. I can almost understand from a MAGA maniac side, which is crazy for me to say, but I can almost understand from a MAGA maniac side the magnetism when it comes to the influence of a person like Joe Rogan or Tim Pool or something like that. At least they got some type of personality. You know what I'm saying? These jackasses like David Pakman and Adam Mockler and Pod Save America, these is robots, man. They talk. It's like they're literally talking off cue card. Even when they get into debates, like Adam Mockler, they done blew his head up. Now he going on CNN. All the talking points is the same. Which, from a even keel perspective, I agree with. I just don't like the delivery. You know what I'm saying? So if we're looking at it from a popular standpoint, you can understand why a guy like Joe Rogan or some of these other like Turning Point and all these bastards in every way, shape, or form. But look at the style adherence versus what you see on the Democratic side. Remember, after the 2020 election, what they say? We're looking for the Joe Rogan of the Democrats. Remember that shit?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It sounds asinine, but it's understandable because that spirit, no matter how blatantly like stupid it is, it's still there. It's a spirit. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Midas Touch overtook Joe Rogan's.
Midas Touch is you talk about a crock of shit. Midas Touch is literally, to me. Now this is to me.
Yeah.
The worst Democrat media source on the internet, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
Look at all they thumbnails. All you ain't gotta watch one video. Just look at the thumbnail. Breaking news on such and such. They ain't talking about shit.
Yeah. I've noticed that.
Trump half dead. I'm like, hold on, wait, what? Something that happened to Trump? Ain't nothing happened to Trump.
Yeah.
And these are the same people.
Yep.
These are the same people. It was a lady that was on Midas Touch named Jessica Denson. I used to watch Midas Touch. I used to watch him for critique purposes only. I couldn't stand him. It was a lady on Midas Touch named Jessica Denson. She used to be in the first Trump administration.
Yeah.
She started the whole campaign, the impeach Trump shit. They got mad at her for saying that Trump stole the 2024 election. They got mad at her.
Who you're saying the people at Midas Touch got mad at her?
Yeah, they fired her.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They fired her because she was making videos with claims of, you know, Trump stole the 2024 election. I mean, she was compelling evidence she was bringing up. I ain't saying it wasn't. I don't agree with it, but compelling evidence nonetheless. They fired her. I'm like, hold on, y'all fired her, and all y'all do is clickbait. Like every video, that's all y'all do. Now, the only person I like on Midas Touch is Popeye. I like him because he a lawyer. He talk law shit.
Yeah.
Everybody else kiss my ass. I can't stand them damn Marcellus brothers, man. I can't stand. And I don't understand how they became the number one podcast. I don't get it.
They did it.
I don't get it, man. Listen to them, man. I'd rather fucking grind my teeth on the curb, man. Listen to them. I'm just being honest. And that's a common theme with a lot of Democratic talking heads. That's a fact. I spice the shit up. I'm not saying that you got to get on here and lie and say crazy. Hell, some even do that. It's a guy on Twitter. Have you ever heard of him, Venkat, Ricardo, Ed Crassetine? You ever heard? They actually twin brothers.
No,
I think
never heard.
one name Ed and the other, I forget the other one name. They outright lie, just like Mac. They Democrats though.
Well, they might as well
lie their ass off. During the Tallarico Crockett debacle, it's another guy. Oh, what's that guy's name? I forget his name.
Is it the gay guy? The gay guy?
Is he gay? What's his name? Tell me his name.
I see it in my head, but I can't.
I don't know if he's gay or not. I don't know.
I think,
but it was one guy saying some of the most racist shit about Jasmine Crockett, and that's part of the reason why it's gonna be bad for Tallarico if he lose. Because part of the reason he's gonna lose is because of what a lot of these Democratic influencers online were saying about Jasmine Crockett. That's a fact.
Yeah.
And Adam Mockler got on Hassan Piker podcast and was talking shit about black people too in Texas.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I could pull the clip.
Wow.
So again, man, I might have to be like Black Power at some point. Because and you know,
well, then Mike is right. Mike is right then. You all give it up for Mike.
Yeah, I'm reluctant, man. I'm reluctant, man. But it might get to that point because it's almost like a lot of people are so blue that they become anti-black. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of people think that shit only apply for black Republicans. It don't. It don't.
Right. Oh, you're
You know
very
what I'm
true.
saying?
That's very true. That's very true. Yes.
Democrats can do it just the same. I would say more so, you may not like it, Vancat. I would say more so progressive. A lot of progressives.
You've been talking about Bernie Sanders and his moments.
Yeah, Bernie Sanders anti-black. That's just what it is. He is.
Oh man.
I can't sugarcoat it. He anti-black. But my
favorite is Elizabeth Warren. I've always liked Elizabeth Warren before she became in politics. I knew about her from a documentary in the early 2000s. So I was surprised when she came into politics. But
so you rocking with the $5 Indian is what you do. You don't mind her co-opting the Native American because it ain't you.
Oh, stop it with the Pocahontas. Come on.
You don't mind that, huh?
Oh, stop it.
But anyway, man. Yeah, let's get into the last story, then we'll go and get in the duck. It's almost 11 o'clock. So this last story here, like I said, we're gonna go to LA.
Yep.
We're gonna go to LA and I want to talk a little bit about this mayoral race in LA here. Let me share my screen again. And it's some interesting things going on in LA as well. So we got and LA is an interesting. They do their elections. They do. I don't know what you really call it, but they don't. It's a nonpartisan race. meaning that they do step elections where, there we go. They do step elections where in the primaries it's a free for all, basically. It don't matter what party you with, independent, whatever. It's a list of candidates. Whoever get 50% win. If nobody gets 50%, they go into a runoff with the top 2 candidates. It don't matter if you're Democrat or Republican. In a shock, the whole thing with and I don't know why I didn't put Graham Plattner in here, but we could talk about that another day.
Oh, he's problematic too. But
I
mean,
we could talk about it another day.
Yeah.
But so with Karen Bass, she didn't get 50%. And the other guy, damn, I was just talking about it. What's his name, Ricardo? Shit, I done forgot his name that fast. What's the guy's name that was running out there?
Oh,
Shit, I forgot it. I just forgot his name. Like I just literally just said it.
It's called being over 40, MD. You're over 40.
We was just talking about it in the other
You joined the over 40 club, MD.
Yeah, I guess that's what it is. Maybe they'll say it in here. God damn it, I can't believe I just forget. Hold on, let me look again. Because that I'm gonna feel crazy if Spencer Pratt. Yeah, that's his name. With the Spencer Pratt guy, it looked like he was a shoe-in to go head to head with Karen Bass. But because and this is what a lot of people say is a problem with California. They count slow as hell. Super slow. So the lady Rockmond, she called Spencer Pratt and conceded to the race. A week later, she found out she won. Well, not won, but came in second place. A week later, she had already conceded to the race, to Spencer Pratt. And come to find out, she came in second place, and now she in the runoff with Karen Bass.
Oh, no.
Karen Bass is the quote-unquote establishment Democrat. Rockmond is the Democratic Social. Is it possible in another major city we're going to see another Democratic Socialist become mayor? Is it possible? It very well may be. Very well may be. Now, I'll be another Indian. It's funny to me, Venkat.
Yep.
Venkat is the champion of the Democratic Socialists. He a champion. Venkat ain't got no representation in the Democratic Socialists. Where your representation at, Venkat? Every time I turn around, I see Democratic Socialists. It's somebody from these strange lands, preferably India or some Arab nation. Where's the nigger representation at in the Democratic Socialist Party, Venkat?
There ain't none.
Where's it at? I see the Democrat representation in Karen Bass. She a sister. That's your black and brown coalition.
That's not an indictment on progressives. That's an indictment on black people. Not knowing what time it is. That's what it is. That's not an indictment on the progressives.
Now you finna ruffle some feathers, man. Now you finna ruffle some feathers, man.
Oh, Jesse.
Now you done did it now.
All right, that's it right there. That's the straw that broke the camel's back.
You done did it. Now Venkat blaming the Negroes.
I'm just saying they gotta get up, they gotta know what time it is. They need to get up to speed with what time it is. You know, a lot of these Negroes, they going on with these conservative ideals that never served them well to begin with. Some of them still attach themselves to the Republican Party in the days of old. Yeah, we used to be very conservative and blah, blah, blah. And I'm tired of these so-called conservative, whether black or white. And they talk about being conservative, and then they go off and do unconservative things. You know, I don't think they know what the word conservative mean anyway.
A lot of them don't. A lot of them don't. I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
I agree with you wholeheartedly on that. So we're looking at a situation in LA where Karen Bass got a lot of heat initially in her term. Remember, she came right out the gate with the LA fires. Everybody remember that. Right
Yeah,
out the gate,
yeah.
Trump was on our ass about the LA fires, lying, talking about they had to get water from Northern California and somehow magically get it all the way down to LA. How they did that, and I still trying to figure out how they did it. Logistically, I don't even understand like how that was possible. She had a whole bunch of heat on. She had heat on her initially with the handling of the initial. Remember, all the ICE shit jumped off in LA. That's where it jumped off at.
Right.
Remember
and
when
that
they
black guy,
raided
they never talk about him. They never talk about that black guy that got killed first.
Yeah, when they raided the Home Depot and all that, that's where it jumped off at.
Yeah.
A lot of Democrats, they scolded her, in a perceived notion to believe that she was actually, cooperating with Trump and ICE. So she done faced a lot of heat in this initial run as mayor. Is that going to be a deciding factor with Rockmont coming in now, again, coming in as a socialist in a major city?
Oh, wait, you said socialist. Like, you just want straight socialist?
That she is a self-proclaimed socialist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Van Cat. She's a female Mamdani. That's a fact. Now, albeit, look, in this LA Times article,
yeah,
she helped Rockmont because she's a city council member in LA County. Karen Bass pushed her heavy in her campaign. Now she again, Negroes, we got to get it together. You helped the Indian out.
Yeah,
gave her a shot in city council. Now she done stabbed you in the back, finna get ready to take your position. I'll be damned. But it's okay because she's a Democratic social. It's okay. So again, it's gonna be interesting to see how this all plays out.
MD, my whole thing with progressivism is I'm more about the actual policies of progressives, not the individual people and whatnot. Because people are trash and people are usually flawed. I mean, we've seen this in all walks of life. People you thought were cool, and then you go on and you find out more and you realize, oh God, that went straight to hell. But when I talk for progressives, even more so than progressivism is bigger to me than Bernie Sanders. I support Bernie Sanders and other progressives, but I'm more about the progressive policies more so than the actual cult of personality.
I don't disagree with that. Remember, we already done had this discussion before, Van Cat. I told you I believe in progressivism. I believe progressivism, from a political sense, is the natural order of things when it comes to policy. I told you that. I don't have no issue with progressivism. I think naturally we all lean to some aspect of progressivism, whether you're Republican or Democrat.
Yeah.
Because it's only natural to do so, based on the social needs of the populace. That's just a fact. A conservative might not agree with that, but even unconsciously, they do a lot of progressive shit throughout the year. That's just what it is. You can't help it. So I approach progressivism in that aspect. When I talk about progressives, from a
negative,
I don't even, but not even a negative. When I look at them, see, I told you, but Van Cat love putting jackets on people, boy. That shit is crazy. When I look at them, let's just say in retrospect of the shit that they do.
Yeah.
Right. I'm looking at it not from a policy standpoint. I'm looking at it from a rhetorical standpoint.
Okay.
Their rhetoric is dangerous. Van Cat. That's just what it is.
Dangerous.
It's dangerous. That's just what it is, Van Cat.
How's it dangerous?
Because it's dangerous because they take away certain aspects of distinct demographics. We just got finished talking about Bernie Sanders, and I told you, I proclaimed that Bernie Sanders was anti-black. Why did I say that? Because in the past, I've heard the rhetoric of Bernie Sanders being distinctively anti-black. That's just a fact. Hassan Piker, I've heard him say things that were distinctively anti-black.
Yeah,
That's just what it is.
We've heard it.
It's not that I'm disagreeing with policy per se, not on the grand scheme. Now, I'm not saying that I'm progressive politically from a group standpoint. I'm not. You know, I'm libertarian minded, but I understand the progressive nature of how politics work. Like even if I was a conservative or a blue-blooded libertarian, I still understand that I have to have some type of progressive policy in order to move forward with society. It's no way around it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But that's not what I'm talking about when I talk about socialists and the DSA and all. I'm talking about their rhetoric. Their rhetoric is dangerous. And it goes back to that shit where I was saying some Democrats' rhetoric is dangerous. You know, I just got to call it a ball, and a strike. At the end of the day, that's just what it is. And the reality is, if I put my reading glasses on and I look at the Democratic Socialists of America as a party, I don't see no black people. I just don't. You know, do you see any black people, Ricardo? Ricardo said no earlier. I mean, you know, that's just what. Now you got to ask yourself, well, why is that? You know, at least from a broad sense. If you look at a place like L.A. or New York, of course, you know it's going to be a sprinkling of black people. But these are strange lands. That ain't America. I can't go to Atlanta. I can't go to Birmingham. I can't go to places like this and see no Democratic Socialism because that's not the reality that I live in. It's just not. And people get mad at black people in these other areas because they run Democratic platforms and think it's supposed to be something else. But you don't live the reality that they live. You just don't. That's why I said Mamdani don't get no play in Charlotte, North Carolina, or Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. No, because it's a different reality.
Yeah, and how is that reality economically?
Better than New York?
I don't think so.
Bullshit.
I don't think that those places. Matter of fact, I would say that those areas actually are getting money from New York.
No, places like that. Don't see now you done.
Stop it.
The pot now, Van Cat.
Stop it now.
Charlotte, North Carolina, Van Cat, we just said earlier in the show, you go downtown Atlanta and go ask 10 people where they from. 8 of those 10 people going to be from out of state. 5 of those 10 people going to be from New York City. 5 of them.
Yeah.
Why are they bringing their ass down here? Because it's better economic opportunity, Van Cat. That's a fact. That's
New
a fact.
York,
Charlotte, North Carolina. Columbia, South Carolina. These places are raking in money right now. Now you trying to tie the see you generalizing, Van Cat.
No. We know that the money's coming from those states that generate the money.
That's not true, Van Cat. Do you not know? Ricardo, let me ask you a question.
Come on, MD.
You may not know, but I'm gonna just ask you. You may know. Charlotte, North Carolina is considered what right now? If you don't know, then he said a dump. Charlotte, North Carolina is the banking hub of America right now. Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yes, sir. As well as other things.
The majority of the banks are headquartered in Charlotte right now.
Yeah,
Like the major
because
banks.
Shout out
because
to
of
BOA.
tax breaks and whatnot. It's because of
Of
the
course.
location.
Bingo.
But that
Ding,
doesn't
ding,
that
ding, ding,
doesn't
ding.
yeah, but that doesn't make Charlotte this great ass economic beacon.
Oh my
It's a business decision that corporations and CEOs decided. Let's relocate here because if we pop our ass over here, we can get a tax credit.
We're going to get subsidies.
Not,
Correct.
That's not that state actively doing something that is generating billions and millions of dollars.
The state, it has to get. Oh my God, Venkat. Yeah,
Come on now,
Venkat,
MD.
I'm enrolling you in my economics class, bro.
Stop.
I'm
Come on.
enrolling you in my economics class. Listen, it's the
Come on.
state that's giving the governor of said state
Mhm.
tell said company, hey, look, move to our state. We'll give you subsidies and tax breaks
Where that come
and
from?
all type of shit.
Where that money come from?
It don't come from nowhere. It's an initial start. Listen, you generalizing, Venkat. You trying to put in a lot of these black areas in the South, and you trying to encompass the whole South for it. That's a bunch of bullshit. We not Arkansas or no shit like that. You can't do it, Venkat. You just can't do it. The powerhouse states in the South, we're self-generating, bro. We not these post southern states. Albeit, yes, places like Kentucky, Arkansas, Louisiana, yes, these places get subsidies from the North. I don't disagree with that. We've talked about this. Places like Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, they don't. They don't. And what's the difference between those podunk states and the New South states? They black ran, black owned, baby. That's a fact. That's a fact. See, you're cutting yourself short, Venkat, is what I'm trying to say and tell you.
I don't see how.
Because you built into the rhetoric of the socialists. And they tell you this. And again, it's a half truth.
Is it really?
Half truth. Yeah, it's a half truth. I'll tell you what. See, now we got to go to school. Let's go.
So
let's go.
I went on Google. I went on
we
Google.
can do it right now.
And I looked up the top U.S. states by total economic output. Obviously, California is number one at 4.1 trillion. Number two is Texas at 2.7 trillion. Number three is New York at 2.3 trillion. Number four is Florida at 1.7 trillion. Number 5 is Illinois at 1.1 trillion. And then number 6 is Pennsylvania. I ain't gonna see no North Carolina or any of them other little states that you're talking about. They're not gonna be there.
That's fine. So let me show you this then.
And a lot of the money
See, now we debating. I like this. I like this. This is productive. Now we're debating, right?
Oh, Lord.
So I also went on Google, right?
Go ahead.
I also went on Google.
Yeah.
To justify my argument, it says, in context, it's talking about because of flow of federal taxes to federal spending redistribution wealth across the nation, the following states are primary net beneficiaries of balanced payments. Talking about getting subsidies from the North. Number 1 is New Mexico. Ain't a lot of niggas in New Mexico. Kentucky, ain't a lot of niggas there either.
Yeah.
West Virginia.
Yeah.
Mississippi, the poor state.
Yeah.
I never mentioned Mississippi. Louisiana, Alaska, Montana, Arizona, Arkansas. I don't see North Carolina there. I don't see Georgia there. I don't see South Carolina nor Virginia. Those are the states I mentioned.
I would like to go down that list even further. They cut it off, but I'm sure if you go down that list,
listen. Again, it's a list. It's gonna be all 50 states on the list. Like I don't understand what you're asking me to do.
I'm just saying, are they in the? Did they make the top 10 or 15? Probably.
Let me look in and see.
Probably.
Let me look in and see.
All right.
Let me go to this because you generalize and you not understand the economic totalities of everything, and that's bad, Venkat. That's bad, and you shouldn't do that.
I shouldn't do that.
No, you should. So let me see if I can. So I clicked on the link here, and we're gonna look at it. Like I said, I'm free flowing all this. I don't know shit.
Oh, Jeremy wants to come up, MD.
Say less. Say less. I'm putting the link in the chat right now.
Oh man.
See, Vancat done turned the show into a free for all. I ain't even got to the duck yet.
What is going on here?
Say less. Okay, so here's a map here. I don't know what this map is. This is the Rockefeller Institute.
Yeah.
It says a recent report by Rockefeller Institute evaluated how all 50 states compared in the terms of tax revenue they sent the federal government recipients and the level of spending they received from the federal government expenditures. Bring him up, Vancat.
I got him.
It says, when looking at the map below, one of the most immediate evident trends is the bright red cluster in the Northeast. That's because I'm assuming they're saying the Northeast gives the most money. New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts, and Connecticut have a combined negative balance of $87.3 billion. In the posting, we are going to take a closer look at the factors lead to the Northeast subsidizing federal spending in the rest of the states. So let me see if they give me a list here. Let me see if they give me a it says, who are the getters? The federal workforce in low-income states get the most. Okay, so it's still showing the same.
Yeah.
Virginia is up there. Okay. I guess that kind of makes sense because of DC. I guess that kind of makes sense because DC subsidized a lot of Virginia because DC ain't a state. So that makes sense. But still, the same podunk states that I was saying, Kentucky, New Mexico, Virginia, Alaska, Mississippi, Alabama, Maryland, Maine, and Hawaii. Would you consider Maryland podunk, Vancat?
Yeah.
What the heck?
Yeah, I would.
So I would put Maryland in the same context as I would put Virginia because a lot of people live in Maryland that work in DC too.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure DC subsidizes both of those states based on the workflow or whatever. But that's not podunk. So I don't even really count Virginia and Maryland.
Oh, you're not counting it.
No, because of what I just said. Vancat, it only makes sense, man. You got to be reasonable, Vancat. Jeremy, what's up, man?
What's going on, fellas? All right. I'm sorry, Vancat, but you're about to go to school. So I'm gonna explain to you what happens. So the cost of business in the state of Massachusetts, specifically Boston, is unattainable. You can't sustain it. Business. The governor of New Hampshire thanked the mayor of Boston for making it impossible to run business due to regulations and due to high tax rates. Now, what happened was they tried to tax all the businesses. What happened? The businesses left to places that made it more profitable for them to grow and expand and create more jobs and more opportunity. Then what happened was now the mayor came around. In the past 2 years, she raised the property tax to subsidize for the commercial occupancy because 40% of the buildings are not even being occupied. So they lose that tax revenue due to higher regulations that they put on businesses. And as businesses need to grow, they need to make a profit to create more jobs. So what happened was she said, oh, because the businesses aren't paying their fair share, this is why it's falling on homeowners. And what is the push? We need to have more home ownership, correct? That's the push of every Democrat, every Democratic socialist. We need more home ownership. Okay. Well, what happened was last year, the taxes went up. I believe in Boston, they went up 13% property tax. So the property tax, what happens when you raise property tax is the property tax doesn't fall on the landlord. It falls on the tenant. That's how rents raise. Then this past year, she raised it another 14%. So in 2 years, she put it on the poor income people. She put more taxes. This is a Democratic run state. Massachusetts is as blue as it gets, and businesses are leaving. People are becoming poorer due to the bad overbearing regulations and taxes on business because they can't grow and create opportunity. That's what happens when you tax businesses, and this is small businesses to large. The tax bracket increases. What do you think happens? Now, if I can run a business, right? I have a business, and do I stay struggling, or do I move to a place where I can thrive and grow and create more opportunity for more people? It's a no-brainer. I'm going to move. I'm going to move where it's more economically friendly for me to grow as a business, thus increase good paying jobs. This is why the socialist it will never work, because it's take from everybody. It's just we dictate where the money goes. A doctor makes the same as a McDonald's employer. That's what it always leads to. So that stifles innovation. That takes away entrepreneurship. That takes away small business owners. When you make it impossible to grow and start a business due to high taxation and due to regulations, building regulations, you only want to know what you need to do in Massachusetts to build a home. The reason Massachusetts homes are in Boston, you can't get a home less than $1 million, even in the poorest neighborhood. You can't buy one lower than that. And the reason behind that is because of the regulations that they've put on landlords and builders, which has stopped the growth exponentially in Boston alone. Because 10 years ago, there was cranes up all over Boston. Now the cranes are gone. Now the businesses are leaving. We had New Balance in Boston. They're gone. They left to New Hampshire because it pays to do business in New Hampshire. They're moving out of these places because of political interference with growth. You take the exception and you make it the norm versus the norm as you should go with the norm, not the exception. You can't do that. Business doesn't work that way.
So in other words, Jeremy, let me stop you right there. So in other words, you saying in order to sustain economic growth, you got to let the moneymakers cook. That's what you're saying.
Correct, because they employ the ones who can't run a business, because not everybody can run a business. And if you have more businesses, you have more jobs. You have more competition, which also creates more innovation to better the life of people. Because when you have competition, what does that do? It creates an environment where innovation happens. That's where it happens, is due to I have to provide a better service than this person. Otherwise, I'm out of business. It happened to Kroger's. It happened to many businesses. It happened to Blockbuster. They didn't want to innovate and go over. They went out of business. In business, you have to be better than your competitor, no matter what it is. And if you cannot innovate and create a better experience and or a better product or you won't succeed. So if you punish the people who are trying to innovate, you cut the legs out from underneath the growth. You cut the growth. You stop it. You hinder it.
I think, Jeremy, some of the things you say could be true in certain situations, but I don't think it's the be all end all of all situations. I believe that as far as like these companies, we can't impose that these companies pay friggin' taxes. But yeah, I get it. Sometimes it could be too much or too many regulations and blah, blah, blah. I get that. But I also get that when companies move and they cite the reason that you said, they move and then now they pay no taxes or low taxes. Sometimes you don't see that higher check for their workers follow. A lot of businesses, they've done that. They've actually moved out of the country, let alone the state. And you don't see them paying people better wages. That's a fairy tale. That's a snuggle up in my comforter till I can feel better about myself type tale. That the things that you're saying is tailored to say a certain narrative and a feel-good story that could come out the way you want it to, but it is not the case. And this idea that I'm going to leave a corporation to go around willy-nilly and do whatever it wants without any interference and blah, 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 I don't think so. I think you could go to an extreme on both ends. You can go on an extreme on hurting the business. You can go to an extreme of their business not having anybody to answer to, and they can lay down what they want it to be. And when you leave a business to lay down the law in the way they want it to be, it usually isn't good for the American workers. So it is necessary for what needs to be done as far as a balance. Now, I think what happens is we're lazy as voters, we're lazy as politicians to really go in and do the job that's needed to figure out what is the right balance that needs to be struck. Because this idea that, just eliminate the regulations and the taxes and magically everything is good. That's not good. Because when COVID happened in 2020, what was the first thing that happened? People went out of work. What happened after that? There was no money. Oh, we need the state to help us survive. Oh, no, we don't, because we weren't taxing and we didn't generate enough revenue through taxes to help this dire situation that we didn't see coming to be able to handle it. So, yeah, I mean, there's work that needs to be done, but I don't think that you could just knock down the Democratic side of it and illustrate when it's being done poorly, and then bring up the Republican side of it and tailor-made it to be this perfect utopia that you may want to make it sound like.
Okay, so the point that I was making, it was based on factual evidence of a case in an actual city. Notice I stated factual evidence.
Yeah, that's fine. And I said it could be true
because facts matter. When we have a conversation about economics and we have a conversation about what works, what doesn't work, we need to have factual evidence. The factual evidence proves in each state and city that does this, poverty is created. Not this utopia of economic growth and everybody's kumbaya and by fire. No, what happens, and I didn't say cut it out altogether. Okay. I specifically said the high tax rate, I didn't say there shouldn't be. I said they go too high, and that's what happens. So this is where businesses leave. New York City is a prime example. The tax rate for commercial properties is too high.
I agree.
So that's the point that I'm attacking. When you stop doing that to businesses, your city and your state will grow because it will work in harmony together. The government and the corporations will work together. But when you, like you said, when you have too high taxes or no taxes at all, you have an imbalance. So I agree there. I'm not talking about the imbalance. I'm not talking about the low. I'm talking about the high end on the business side, why they're leaving. And everybody says they're greedy. That's the very first thing that they say is that they're greedy. But I want to flip it around. And if you were a business owner, and if you, Venkat, I'm going to ask you this question. If you had to pay higher taxes and you could physically move, you and your family.
You can stop right there, Jeremy. He out of there. He out of there.
Would you do it?
He out of there.
It depends, though.
No, it don't depend. You out of there. You out of there. You out of there.
You're not being honest, man, Cat. I'm gonna be straight up with you. You're not being honest.
It depends. Because there's other things to weigh. Like in that environment, in that community, in that area, with the certain clientele, it'll depend. It'll depend. It's not just like, I'm getting taxed 8% here, I can go get 6% over there. But you may get out on the tax part right there, but you may lose something in that area. Maybe in that area there's certain workers and certain a caliber of worker that may be a bit more beneficial than the area you move to, and there's so many intangibles to it. It's not just a simple thing like that. In the 1980s, when GM moved out of Detroit, when they were doing record profits, and they moved to overseas, what was the explanation for that? If they were making record profits and they saw, well, we could make even more profits going overseas. What is the sense of supporting a business like that? That's not a business. That's a freaking leech, because the whole state was centered on that corporation operating their business there. So everything ran through there. The community poured everything into it. The local government poured everything into it. And when the company saw an opportunity to make a few more bucks, they just dipped. And if you're not going to be a part of building up the community and building up the state and the city and blah, 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 if you're not a part of that, if that's not a little piece of what you do, yeah, you should make profits, but you should also be productive within the community that you're operating from. And if you're not that, then I don't want your bitch ass in there anyway. Buy good riddance, because you're not beneficial. So any of these companies could just up and leave, and now you got this big dormant ass building that no other retailer or business can fill. That's a liability, and all these people are out of work. Why am I putting all these tax breaks and funding if another state or another country is doing less than what we're currently doing 8 years from now? We're going to get screwed over anyway. So, I mean, you guys got to stop putting the capes on rich people and corporations. They are not your friend.
Let me ask you a question.
There needs to be a nice balance there, but we need American workers to get paid what they are owed, because productivity is way higher than the pay. And until we get there, it's going to be a problem.
Let me ask you a question, Van Cat, real quick. So, do you think that politicians should try to work with the corporations when they are threatening to leave? I use the Boston example because it's not a 2% difference. It's you have no idea what taxes are on Boston commercial. It's like I said, to build a house, you can't purchase an old rundown house for less than $1 million. That's not greedy corporations. That's bad policy. That's bad policy that creates that narrative, because the only way it raises is if the cost of building raises and also the cost of taxes raise. I gave you the example of the taxes being pushed onto the poor people who are already poor. And meanwhile, this mayor gave herself a raise of $250,000 while the people in Boston are starving.
Y'all got that Asian lady in Boston, don't you?
Yes. I use that example very specifically because that's the same situation in New York City. It's the same situation in Chicago. And look at those cities. Those cities are bankrupt. They're literally bankrupt. They have filed for bankruptcy. Boston is the next on the list to file for bankruptcy. That's not a corporation problem. That is a political problem. That is a overspending problem. I'll give you another example of what they spent. She spent $750,000 on an event for trees.
Well, it's not. She sounds like she's the female Trump.
So here's the thing, right? So this is a spending problem by the politicians. That's the issue. It's not the corporation solely. Everybody always pushes a greedy corporation because they do what's best for their business and for the employee and to expand. But they never look at the policies that these politicians create this problem.
Jeremy, let me say this real quick. Let me say this real quick, Jeremy. I agree with you to a certain extent, but it's a difference between federal government and local government. Local governments essentially are a corporation.
Correct. No, I agree.
Local governments run just like corporations, and they're allowed to do it. Now, the federal government, on the other hand, totally different story.
Correct. So I'm talking solely on the state.
But some of the stuff you're talking about, Jeremy, is on purpose. Those are loopholes and things to benefit people and corporations. It depends. It depends on some of these policies are like on purpose there. It's just like it's a dirty game. and nobody's really trying to fix anything.
But these are lefty loonies he's talking about, though, Van Cat. He got a lefty
Correct.
loony mayor in his city.
He's
That's
crazy.
fine. I mean,
He's certified crazy.
again, the Democrats,
He's the dumbest
the
one I've seen.
Democrats got to be perfect. The Democrats got to be perfect. At the end of the day, they're still a politician, and not all Democrats are going to be perfect. Not all Democrats are going to be the way that we would think.
It's a
They're
difference
gonna
between
be-
a Democrat and a lefty loony, though.
Oh, look.
Correct.
See,
Correct.
in the Northeast, they got lefty loonies in the north. In the South, ain't
come on up here,
no
Van Cat.
lefty
You'll
loony.
think what?
Ain't no lefty loonies in the South. We Democrat. Atlanta is democratically run. We don't have them problems. Charlotte, and that's why I'm going back. That's why I went back to what I was saying, Van Cat. You have
Okay.
to be distinct in what you're talking about. It's not a Democratic issue. I don't want to make it seem like it's a It's not. It's not a Democrat issue.
Correct.
It's an ideological issue, is what I'm saying.
Correct.
I agree with everything Jeremy just said. That's why we call him the technician. He was spot on, 100% correct on everything he just said. What I'm saying is, in other places in the country where they're all major cities are democratically run. Can we agree?
Not all of them.
The
Not
ones that
all
I
of
know
them.
yet.
Let me see. I'm trying to name. Let me see if I can name a major city that's not democratically run.
John F. Kennedy was probably the last Democrat in this state that was good. One of the last ones. John F. Kennedy was amazing.
Oh well, you said you live there. That's where you from. I can only speak for where I grew up, and again, I grew up in a blue city in a red state, all of my life. You know what I'm saying? Other places in the South is what I'm saying. Democratically ran. They don't have the same issues of New York or LA or Chicago or Boston or Philadelphia have. Why is that? Partly due to the ideological change. That's all I'm telling you, Van Cat. Wherever there's a lefty loony, usually bad things happen. That's just a fact. That's just a fact. That's not synonymous with Democrat, like at all. It's not synonymous. I gave you the example of Charlotte, North Carolina. I gave you the example of Atlanta. I gave you the example of Columbia, South Carolina. These places are thriving economically. Thriving. Mainly because we took all the business from North and now they're here. You know what I'm saying?
Why is that, Eddie?
Because the leadership in the cities and the leadership in the state gave the tax breaks that allowed these businesses to, yes, profit more, but also uplift said communities where they reside now. That's a fact. That's a fact. Those same people who you saying war is me for in Detroit and all these places, we saying hip hip hooray in the South because now we got the job. Hey, look, I'm the captain now, Van Cat. I'm the captain now, and that's just what it is. So what do these other cities have to do? They have to now be more competitive than our states and vie for the attention of the corporation. That's just how the game works, Van. I don't know what else to tell you, Van Cat. That's just how the game works. Or they can create new industry. That's what California doing with AI and Silicon Valley. We can't do these things in other places like Silicon Valley.
I'm glad you brought that up, MD, because a lot of people forget about the geography. Geography plays a major role in economics. You cannot do the same thing, like you just mentioned in Silicon Valley, that you do in Boston, Massachusetts. It wouldn't work. You can't do the same thing in the Midwest with farming as you can't do it in Florida. Geography matters. Geography, as well as what is that place developing? What is that place producing? Each place in the United States produces a unique thing. You can't do citric fruits up north. You can't do it. Right. So that's why Florida does it. That's where those places have to be innovative and grow in that manner because that's their specialty. Alaska has nothing. That's why you'd have like fishing. That's about and crabbing. Like that's about the extent of it. You're not getting anything else. It's just not happening.
Yeah, you're right. It's bad to say this, and Van Cat probably take it back. It's almost like the Hunger Games.
Oh.
in the Hunger Games, different sectors had different industry. Why was that? Because it was best suited for the geographical area. I don't disagree with that at all, Jared. You're 100% right. You're 100% right. But
Steel in Pennsylvania, coal.
Yeah.
In the mining towns.
Yeah.
That's why. You shut the coal down, those people are poor now.
The Rust Belt and all that. That's why we had these areas. Like and again, it's 2026. With the advent of new technology, I mean anything possible. You know, I ain't saying that, you know, that ain't true. But in terms of competitiveness, without it, we ain't got no economy, Venkat. That's just a fact. You can't look at it from a have and have not stand. And I've never looked at economics that way. I don't think you should. Those same people with the haves is the reason why you gotta have. You know what I'm saying? It's all a symbiotic relationship. I don't take away from your choice to be competitive in the labor market. Again, I don't agree with unions, but I'm not saying that you shouldn't organize. It shouldn't just shouldn't be a centralized thing. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. You know, at the end of the day, you have to understand what your worth is in the labor market. If everybody had that understanding, I think we would be all right.
Yeah. That's what we used to be. That's what we used to be. That's why we were innovative, and that's why we were ahead of the curve, is because we spurred innovation. Economic growth.
VanCat don't want you to be. VanCat don't want you to have a value. VanCat want the government to put a value on you.
Oh,
that's what VanCat want.
No, what I want is a baseline understanding of what are essential stuff versus what are not essential. And I want everybody to at least have a basic ability to have a shot to survive. I just don't think that what we're doing, the system we're doing, and the way we deal with homelessness and the way we deal with income inequality and the way we deal with low wages, I don't think what we're doing is the right way to do it.
Let me ask you a question, VanCat, on that. Mm-hmm. On the matter of homelessness, how much of that is a choice?
It's not.
How many of them is a choice? Hold on. How many of them have made a conscious choice to do what they did, and they're facing the consequences for their actions and their choices? How many out of all the homeless drug addicts, how many of them want to change? I'll wait.
I think a lot of people ended up homeless due to a lot of things that were not necessarily their fault.
Yeah, you lost me on that one, Jeremy. I can't ride with you on this.
I mean, I just talked about how a corporation just up and left because they could get even more profits from getting record-breaking profits, and they left, and now it left a whole community of people without jobs, and not just regular jobs, because they were getting paid pretty well back then. Yeah,
I'm gonna give you 2 minutes, VanCat. Then I'm gonna give you 2 minutes, Jeremy. Then I'm going to the dub.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't think a lot of people are homeless by choice. I think that there's things beyond a person's control, and I think anybody can get there. There are people in the United States, they can't handle a $400 emergency. That's not by coincidence.
Don't go down that road.
I'm just saying. You know, there's
high premiums are a reason.
Peace, Ricardo. I thought you was gone a long time. Peace, Ricardo. We'll see you on the next show, bro.
High premiums are due to a whole nother reason than what you're thinking. If you go and you look at overseas over in UK, you don't get a private room. You get stuck in the middle with everybody else, and you get seen by one doctor when they can get to you. you don't have a choice in what medicine you can take in most countries. That's why you pay a high premium. You pay a high premium for the luxuries that you have in this country.
I don't think so. You pay a high premium because the greedy corporations said we can make more money if we jack up the price.
Oh, no. So if you go over to those other places that don't have high premiums, you get subpar medical attention. That's a reality. That's a fact.
I don't know. I think
worldwide, go look worldwide and do your studies on what the healthcare systems are in other countries, and you'll be thankful for the one you have.
I'm just saying. I don't think so. People defaulting on their credit because of
bigger than
medical
greedy
bills.
corporation, man, cat. It's bigger than quote unquote. You're just equating to greedy corporations without any factual evidence, without any statistics. Zero statistics. You're just coming with feelings. And when you deal with this, you can't deal with feelings. You have to deal with cold, hard facts.
I'm not dealing with feelings. I'm dealing with documentaries, the actual people breaking down like what's been happening, the news. I'm looking at all kinds of statistics that I've seen.
Go research overseas the healthcare. Go research it, and you'll think twice. I'm telling you. Go research it. Go research socialist countries' healthcare that didn't work.
Y'all got that out y'all system. Y'all good?
Yeah.
All right, hey, Jeremy, man, I appreciate you coming through, man. You need to come. Hey, I wish I had the time for God and government, man. I barely got the time for this show, bro. But hey, I'm gonna get up with you, man. One of these days, we gonna do a pop-up God and government show, man. One of these days.
No worries,
man.
brother. No worries, brother. You take care of you first and foremost.
Hey, MD, you need to get in contact with Jeremy to make that happen.
Yeah, I got his number. I got his number.
Okay.
I think I got him on WhatsApp too. I got man.
Yeah, I got your number, MD. Yep.
Yeah, one of these days, man, we gonna get together, bro. We gonna get together.
No worries. Take care of your family first and foremost, always.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I appreciate that, man. Jeremy Dunbar, the technician, folks.
We got blessed with a Jeremy appearance tonight.
Yeah, Jeremy Dunbar with a surprise. But hey, y'all know what that means, folks. It's come that time. It's the witching hour. It's the witching hour. Now, it's been a long time. But now we've entered the wrong time.
Uh-oh.
Someone must feel the wrath.
Oh boy.
Of the duck tonight. So without further ado, and this is the first for the new iteration of TLP. But it was bound to happen.
Oh boy.
It was bound to happen. Everybody knew it. Yep. He was the duck king in the first iteration of TLP. Yep. And now he makes his very first appearance in the second iteration, folks. Without further ado, I present to you the lame duck of the week.
Y'all some duck, walk like a duck. Y'all some duck, talk like a duck.
I want you to listen to me. I'm going to say this again. I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky.
Now the story lived by him to see it is appearing now. Let me reassure you, the things that you will see in that story, those are not the words of Mark Robbins.
We finally beat Medicaid.
Thank you, President Biden, President Trump.
He's right, he did beat Medicaid, he beat it to death.
Duck went like a dove. Feathers fly in the air. Water laying here, water laying. Y'all some duck, yeah, you some duck. Y'all some duck, look like a dove.
We're going to annihilate their Navy. We're going to ensure that the region's terrorist proxies can no longer destabilize the region or the world. Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime.
There absolutely was an imminent threat, and the imminent threat was that we knew that if Iran was attacked, and we believed they would be attacked, that they would immediately come after us. And we were not going to sit there and absorb a blow before we responded.
Iran was building powerful missiles and drones to create a conventional shield for their nuclear blackmail ambitions. Let me say that again. a conventional shield for their nuclear blackmail ambitions. Our bases, our people, our allies, all in their crosshairs. Iran had a conventional gun to our head as they tried to lie their way to a nuclear bomb.
These actions are right and they are necessary to ensure that Americans will never have to face a radical, bloodthirsty terrorist regime armed with nuclear weapons and lots of threats. For almost 50 years, these wicked extremists have been attacking the United States while chanting the slogan, "Death to America" or "Death to Israel" or both.
The Ayatollah was a radical cleric. That entire regime is led by radical clerics who don't make geopolitical decisions. They make decisions on the basis of theology, their view of theology, which is an apocalyptic one. That has to be taken very seriously as well. So that was the purpose for what this operation is all about. That's what it's focused on.
We will finish this on America First conditions of President Trump's choosing. Nobody else's, as it should be.
Senior White House correspondent Peter Doocy starts us off tonight live from Geneva. Good evening, Peter.
And Brett, here in Geneva and also in Paris, it is after midnight. President Trump at this very moment is still at dinner with President Macron inside Versailles. And we were just told by a White House official that President Trump has signed a copy of the Memorandum of Understanding. There is some kind of a photo op that occurred. We expect to see that photo at some point soon. And what we know about this peace plan, it does not call for new weapons inspectors or sanctions on Iran. Instead, President Trump is saying that if they color outside the lines, he will just drop some bombs on their heads. And now the boss has to sell this Memorandum of Understanding to a skeptical American public. Key points shared by the White House. The U.S. will help develop, quote, at least $300 billion for the reconstruction and economic development of the Islamic Republic of Iran. And the United States of America undertakes to make fully available for the use of frozen or restricted funds and assets of the Islamic Republic of Iran.
The unfreezing is an easy one to answer. We have taken a lot of their money, and we have their money. We have taken their money. It's not our money, it's their money.
On a 14-point plan, it's not until point number 8 that you find this. The Islamic Republic of Iran reaffirms that it shall not procure or develop nuclear weapons.
Bomb Iran if they don't comply, but there's nothing enforceable in the deal itself. Is that correct?
Doesn't have to be.
This map shows U.S. military assets on standby in the region if Iran starts charging tolls in the Strait of Hormuz.
The alternative would be a worldwide depression. You can only go so far. You drive somebody into the ground.
The president's perspective on ending the war, it was just time.
The thing that's going to stop them from doing that, because you can't cover everything in a document, is common sense. They don't want to get bombed. They don't want to get hit.
And if Friday's signing ceremony goes sideways, he's got a plan. There's some element to this where you send the vice president. If it works out, great, you look like a genius for sending him. And if it doesn't work out, it's the vice president.
I like that idea, sure. Well, this way, if it works out, I'm going to take the credit. If it doesn't work out, I'm blaming J.D. You better be careful, J.D. He's going to turn his plane around and get the hell out of here. Yeah, I like that idea.
We think he was kidding about that. Something the president is more serious about, though, is letting Iran hold on to some of their ballistic missiles. That is a policy change because earlier in this very war, the administration and the War Department were targeting Iran's ballistic missiles. Now the president says that if other powers in the region like Saudi Arabia are going to have them, he doesn't think it's fair to tell the Iranians they cannot have any. And just as that piece of tape was playing, the Iranians, through their state-run media, have said that their missiles are only meant to be fired, not to be negotiated. Brett.
Much more on this and the details. Peter Doocy in Geneva. Thanks.
It is short and it is vague, but the Memorandum of Understanding between the United States and Iran shows one key thing, and that's Iran is less afraid of President Trump than he would like them to be. First up, this is not a punishing document for Iran. In fact, it shows they've managed to get President Trump close enough to where they were when they signed a deal with President Obama back in 2015. Not far off at all, really, despite thousands of dead and missiles fired. And that reveals one key thing, that Iran is not really afraid enough of the United States here to have yielded to worse terms in the deal. They think they have survived and have the upper hand going forwards. Secondly, the whole eventual deal has to be signed off by Russia and China through the UN Security Council, of which both have a veto. That could easily derail the whole thing if simply either country wants to inconvenience President Trump. Thirdly, Iran will get cash from this. The, quote, at least $300 billion that some drafts reference, well, that doesn't sound like a cash injection into Iran or really explain where the money comes from. But all sales by Iran are permitted, and that will mean they get cash, probably quite quickly. Finally, the 60 days time frame can be extended. The process can go on as long as either side agrees. And at any time, too, Iran can again complicate the passage through the Strait of Hormuz and hold global energy markets hostage. That gives Tehran enormous leverage over Israel attacking Iran's ally Hezbollah, over the terms of any deal to come, over US promises over their military force levels in the region. Ultimately, it's now clear that if these talks fail, the US fears what Iran will do more than Iran fears the US response.
So there you have it. This week's Lame Duck, folks. I'm going to be as clear as I possibly can in this. Trump came out looking like a sucker.
Yep.
Through this whole ordeal.
Yep.
This is quite possibly one of the worst deals in the history of American foreign policy. I'm just keeping it real.
Yep.
I'm just being honest. I can't be no more honest than that. This is horrendous. When people talk about all the debacles of presidents past, whether it be Jimmy Carter with the Iran hostage situation, or W with Iraq and Afghanistan, this is up there. I'm just being honest. And quite honestly, I don't think it's going to last. I'm going to just keep it real with you. I think after the 60 days, it's going to go right back to where we came from with the whole blockade with the Hormuz Strait. Because I don't see where any of this benefits the United States. I just don't see it. I don't see it. And I'm sitting here scratching my head trying to figure out why were we there? I would understand if we went in and debowed the oil like we did Venezuela, but we didn't do that. We didn't do that. I think that's what he wanted to do, but it didn't work out so well. Because the mullahs over there in Iran, they some tough cookies. You know, they often say when you believe in something hard enough, you're willing to do anything to keep it. And that's what Iran is. Venezuela don't believe in nothing. Venezuela, they folded like a cheap piece of cardboard. Folded. Didn't happen like that in Iran, a country of 90 million people. They said, you want to do this, let's do it. That's what they said. And I don't think Trump was expecting that. And now, you know, the United States got their ass in the wind proverbially with nothing to do. Just say, hey, look, you know, just going to follow turn. That's just what it is. And now Iran is in a even better position than they were with the JCPOA under Obama. Or even better. Again, it's all projection with Trump. I want people to understand this.
Yep.
Everything Trump say in regards of another president, whether it be Biden or Obama, it's not that he's dismissing the policies of those presidents. He just want to top it. That's all he want to do. He wants you to believe that they were bad deals, so to speak. And again, I don't think the JCPOA was a good deal. I don't. I think it gave a lot of leverage to Iran also. but not this much leverage. Not this much leverage at all.
Yep.
Like, this is ridiculous. Iran now knows, hey, look, at any point in time, we can shut this mofo down. Shut it down. Play with us if you want to. We'll lock it away. And it'll be a whole nother economic disruption in the oil market. They could do it just like that. Now they know they can. You know, yeah, we'll take a couple hits and a couple hundred lives lost. We can deal with that. We Muslims, we can deal with it. You know what I'm saying? This is bad, Venkat and Jeremy. This is real bad.
Yeah. I agree.
So, you know, yeah, go ahead, Jeremy. I'll let you get the first one.
No, it's okay. No, I was just saying I agree with you. I agree wholeheartedly with you. I don't like Trump's foreign policies. They're absolutely awful. And you're spot on with it's worse than what Obama did because of he tried to play the bully and basically he was selling wolf tickets. He was selling wolf tickets. He got called on his bluff, and now we're in a worse position than we were in before. Personally, I think this is a bigger issue for citizens in the United States is the massive amounts of waste in warfare on other countries and giving away all kinds of military weaponry and funding and all that. It's hurting us economically, and it's creating a awful situation all around. And he's going to empower Iran. I mean, there's such contradiction with the ballistic missiles.
Yep.
He was bragging about the ballistic missiles hitting them and we crushed them, and then he's saying they can use them. He went from you shouldn't have nuclear weapons. Well, how are you going to go into somebody else's country and tell them what they can have? That's just stupid. Number one.
Yep.
If you go to somebody's house, you just don't say, "Hey, I'm taking your sugar." You're going to get punched in the face. You ain't taking my sugar, no. So you got to go about it a little more diplomatic when it comes to foreign policy, right? I don't like his foreign policy. I've never liked his foreign policy. I think that's the one weakness of this president. I like
more than one.
I like his domestic for the American people to try to spur the economy, but I don't like the wastefulness in the foreign policy. I think he's wasted so much money. I mean, and then cause the prices to go up instead of just minding your business, honoring the deal that was made, and just stop trying to be the best thing, the best thing since sliced bread. That's his problem in that sense. I didn't like when Biden went over to Ukraine and meddled in that. They've been going on for hundreds of years. What are you going to do? You're not going to stop it. I don't like when Trump goes over to Iran. Mind your business, right? It's the same concept. We're
You sound
dumping
like a mega maniac, Jeremy. Man.
so
Yeah,
much.
I was with you for a little minute, man. You
Well,
know,
no, I don't. What's the difference between the? What's the difference?
Well,
What's the difference
we-
between Iran situation and
I tell you what, come back next week because we're gonna be talking about all of that in our Trump retrospect of first half of second term. That's gonna be the show next week. Just saying.
yeah. So he was just terrible foreign policy. I've never liked his foreign policy. So he's never been good at it. He never will be good at it, and that's just what it is. So I think we're losing on that front, and we are going to pay for that with oil. Oil and gas, unless we start becoming self-sufficient, it ain't happening. We're gonna be eating that cost.
Well,
That's just what
you
it
talking
is.
about drill, baby, drill? That's what you're talking about?
If we drill our own oil, right, we do become self-sufficient, right? It's part of producing, and then you can sell it in the market, right? It's business, right?
That
People get
ain't working
paid.
out so good, is it?
Well, because they're not doing it. That's why.
Yeah, you're right. No, they drilling. They drilling.
They're
It
not
just ain't
drilling
the
to where
type.
they were.
It ain't the type of drilling that you thought it was gonna be.
Correct.
They drilling bombs into people's houses. That's how they getting oil.
That's the other. Yeah, they should be drilling here. is what I'm saying. Not, I mean, how do you take over Venezuela and you're still in this predicament? Like, what
When
are
you
doing?
drill here, don't you open up yourself to having like environmental issues and whatnot? You kind of like that's why they prefer drilling overseas and getting it from them. Let them do the work, and then we just get the end product. I mean,
Capitalism.
well, there you go. There you go.
So yeah, but so you're kind of in a contradiction there, Van Cat. I just want to let you know that you were talking about businesses not going overseas, right?
I'm just saying that it sounds
Right?
good
Yeah,
to
he
say
did. He
drill
did
here.
just say that, didn't he, Jim?
He did say that.
Oh,
so they call you
yeah.
a contradiction here. It's okay when it
Oh.
comes to the oil and the environmental.
That's why he's the technician. That's why.
Oh,
He
Lord.
just caught you, Venkat. He just caught you.
Didn't catch me with anything.
So you want Iran to have environmental issues, and that's okay.
I'm
And
just
those
saying.
people over there are a lot struggling,
Yeah.
a lot worse than the United States people. But
Yeah.
you don't want us to, right?
Well,
Okay.
you know.
That's taking advantage of them, isn't it?
I'm just saying, the United States. If
Just saying,
you're drilling all over the United States, those areas
Not
where you're
all over.
drilling, it's going to be hard to live in that area.
Well,
They
so
got
you can
they
drill
got more
off the
open
coast.
areas.
You can drill off the coast. They were doing that. You can drill in Alaska because that's oil rich. There's not many people there. You can drill over there, and it won't affect it to the extent that you're thinking. There are areas. I'm not saying drill everywhere in the United States. I'm saying
Right.
drill in secluded areas where you could pipe it down, and then you could also barrel it and sell it. That's what I'm saying, like Alaska or off the Gulf where it's rich, right? Those areas. I'm not talking about the whole United States. That's just crazy. That's nonsense.
Yep.
Within reason, right? Like within reason.
Yep. Yeah.
Then you're in the market, and then you can set the price, and you could have a leg up in the fight, right? In this scenario, that's the best way to do it, personally, in my opinion, rather than try to bomb them and bully them, right?
So on the Biden, we were drilling the most. We were drilling the most on the Biden, and
That's a fact. That's a fact.
So he should have taken that and ran with it. So I agree. That's the fact.
But Trump's an egomaniac, so he stops everything his predecessors did, and then he tries to rebrand everything under his banner.
Didn't he
That's the
build
problem.
the pipeline? Didn't he have the pipeline when his first one? He was doing the pipeline in his first presidency.
Yeah, he was trying to do that. I think they shut that down, didn't it?
They shut that down because they didn't want him to do it. Yeah. But
No,
now,
they shut
but
that
when
down
Biden
because
there-
the environmental issues of the oil leaks and whatnot.
Yeah,
There's a
remember
bunch of
the
issues.
people were protesting up there?
Yeah, nobody.
Yeah.
You don't want to be living around that. I don't blame him.
So yeah, so he could have come up with a better way, but he did start the idea. Biden probably came up with a better idea, obviously, if he was drilling more, which is great. Like I said, I'll give credit where credit's due. He should have just ran with what was already working. There's no need to, if it ain't broke, don't try to fix it, right?
Right.
He should have just went with it, and I agree. That's where his ego hurt the American people. So I can definitely agree with you there.
Yep.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, man, the fact of the matter is the whole thing blew up in his face because it was an ego trip for him. It was never about nuclear weapons. It was never about ballistic capabilities it was never about none of that. None of that.
Yep.
It was all about, hey, look, we just did this to Venezuela. Now we're going for the big bucks. Let's go over here to Iran. Let's bully them into a deal where we get a portion of their oil. That's what the whole drill baby drill strategy was always about. It was never about drilling here. Never.
And
I argued with Black Son about this for weeks. I told him there is no drill baby drill. That's a lie. He didn't want to listen. It was always kill baby kill. Always.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Let me ask you as a question. If you're going to say you're going to, I'm not saying any of us are doing this, just using it as an example because I know you two be listening. Say we're gonna case a bank, and we're gonna plan to do something, right? If we don't think we can do it, are we going to do it?
No, hell no.
If I don't think I can get away with it, no, I wouldn't do it.
The risk versus reward is not there.
You case Iran, they're a different animal than Venezuela. If you don't think you get away with it, you don't do it. It's that simple.
But that's the thing, Jeremy. He's such an egomaniac. He just underestimated the opposition. He just figured, hey, they're nothing. We're the United States. We're big bad and this and that. And he doesn't realize the realities, the harsh realities of going to war with these other countries.
And you're forgetting the X factor. The X factor is Israel.
Yep.
Yeah.
Israel said, whether you come me or not, I'm doing it. It is what it is.
So they should have let Israel go out there
we the
by
big
himself.
brother, but we the big brother though, Van Cat. We couldn't do it. We couldn't do it, bro. We couldn't do it.
Sometimes the big brother's got to let the little brother catch his lumps. Just saying.
Exactly.
I agree.
Exactly.
But when the little brother is there to be the police station for that region, you got to kind of step in, because that's all Israel is. You know, again, there's this idea that somehow Israel is controlling the United States. No, they're not.
No.
In no way, shape, or form. Everything Israel do, they do it because we allow them to do it.
Right.
Correct.
I mean, that's a fact. Israel is the United States precinct of the Middle East. That's all it is.
Correct.
Israel is there to be the regulator of the region, so we can keep peace with all the other GCC countries, because we get oil from them too. OPEC.
Correct.
That's
so it's all business. It's all business, right? Right, MD? It's all capitalist economics, right, MD?
Well, that part I don't agree with.
I'm messing with Big Cat.
That's going a little bit too far. You know what I mean? That's going a little bit too far. But it's true though. It's true. The sole purpose of Israel is to be I guess you would say like a security post for the region, so we can keep everybody else in line, so we can keep getting that money via oil. That's it. And because it's been so long, the people of Israel have become emboldened. Like I call it the Veruca Salt effect. That's what it is. Israel is Veruca Salt. The United States is the daddy in Willy Wonka in the chocolate factory. We tell Israel, you want a purse, you want to go to Willy Wonka factory. Here's the money for it. Whatever you want, sweetheart. And then Veruca Salt Israel say, no, I want it now. I want to bomb Iran now. I want Gaza now. That's what they do. And we say, go ahead, sweetheart. Go ahead, honey. Whatever you want.
My goodness.
That's what we do. And then when stuff go left, we say, oh, we got to come in and, I got to go talk to the manager. I.e., I got to go help you bomb Iran. And it don't work out. And then you end up the bad egg, like in Willy Wonka and Chocolate, and you go down to shoot.
Haven't we learned from that the Middle East is just someone we should not be playing with in that manner? Haven't we learned that from the past?
I know.
How many countries have we attempted and fallen short?
Yep.
Well.
When do we look at history?
I would disagree to this extent. Most of the Middle Eastern countries done fell in line already. It's the ones that haven't that we got the problem with, and we've never won against them, like never. Jordan and the rest of the GCC, Saudi Arabia and Qatar and Oman, they done fell in line. But those are the countries with the money.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like Afghanistan. I'm talking.
Oh yeah. We don't stand a chance against them because
Iraq, Iran. I'm talking those countries.
Now this goes into your wheelhouse again, Jeremy. And and after this, I got to get it because it's past 12. I got to go to sleep. So with those countries, there's a difference between the GCC countries, the OPEC countries, and the Shia and in those countries, right? And again, like Iraq became Shia after Saddam and all of that. Those people they live and die by their beliefs, Jeremy. You know that, and I know that.
Oh yeah.
I didn't want to get this deep, but you led me no choice. You know what I'm saying? Those countries live and die by their belief. It's bigger than any type of diplomatic approach. It's just
Correct.
bigger than that.
Correct.
They willing to die.
Well, clearly.
They willing to die. What they say when somebody get killed over there, they've been martyred.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
and
it's a
at the
mindset.
end of the day, it come down to that.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a no-win situation there. That's where you got to just kind of
There you go. There
you got to chalk it up to what it is.
The
Let it
crown
be.
prince of Saudi Arabia, he don't want to die.
No, he's got too
He
much
got
to
too
lose.
much money. Yeah. He like, man, I don't want to die. I'm with y'all, United States. Okay,
don't have
USA, like Bloodsport.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's them guys over there. That's how they living. But is Islamic Republic of Iran, ISIS, all them, they're like, hey man, let's do it. I want my 7 virgins now. Let's do it.
Yeah. That's a different animal, for sure. Different animal altogether. You can't mess with it, for sure. I agree.
So with that, I'm gonna leave it at that. That was a tidbit of God and government at the end, right there, y'all. So be on the lookout for that show. It's gonna return at some point. It's gonna return. With that being said, hey, I gotta go to sleep. It's 12:15.
All right, brothers.
12:15. So, listen, one Vat Cat get on that socialist soapbox, man. It ain't no telling how long you're gonna be here, man. It ain't no telling, bro. It ain't no telling. He done ran Ricardo off. It ain't no telling, man.
Oh God.
Van Cat gonna get you to hold that hammer and sickle. He gonna get you.
We'll learn you, Van Cat. We'll learn you.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you for real, Dumbo, for coming, Jeremy, for coming
Absolutely,
through,
brother.
man.
Absolutely.
Absolutely,
guys.
And like I said, anytime, man, you're welcome here, man. Anytime.
I appreciate it. No, I appreciate it. Like I always say, you guys have always, since day one, made me feel welcome, and sincerely so. I appreciate it, and I look forward to more dialogues for sure with you brothers. So
no problem.
Y'all have a blessed night. Peace.
All right, same to you, man. Hey, Van Cat, give your outro, man.
We'll see you next week. Till then, stay woke.
There you go. There you go. And like I said, next week, we're gonna be doing a retrospective of Trump so far.
Oh,
With the,
you mean like
with
the second term?
Yeah, and we gonna look at policies. I'm gonna try to do a comparison between policies in his campaign versus policies now.
Oh, okay.
And we gonna see what they look like.
Oh
We're
boy.
gonna see what they look like. Like I say, I'm gonna try to encompass as many things as I can.
It's gonna be rough.
So yeah, it's gonna be pretty bad. But with that being said, man, I'll see y'all next week. I may end up doing a live tomorrow. And with that being said, hey, peace out, y'all.
Peace.
Wang, wang, wang.